Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Yeah, start the car, get the grill going, and get everybody ready to go because in about, right at 24 hours from right now, it is kickoff time at Reynolds Razorback Stadium for the first SEC game of the football season for the Arkansas Razorbacks. South Carolina awaiting. Hogs are an 8.5-point favorite, and certainly all signs point to good football game tomorrow at Razorback Stadium, and I would imagine a Razorback win too. This is I don't want to put too many must-win games on a schedule that features just 12 regular season games. I would say the first SEC game of the year when you're playing at home against whichever way you want to look at it, 4th, 5th, 6th best team. Definitely not the worst team in the SEC East, but definitely not the best, and I don't think either of the top 3 or 4, maybe not even the top 5. In the SEC East in South Carolina. Facing a good quarterback in Spencer Rattler. He's got some weapons. He's got an iffy offensive line. And when you look what Arkansas has got in the schedule coming up, Missouri State next week and homecoming, and then a big one against Texas A&M, and then it's Alabama. I'm not going to put this at a must-win game, but certainly this is one Arkansas should win. Arkansas looked good against Cincinnati. There were some moments here or there, but there were never too many times where you felt that Arkansas just didn't belong on the field with them at that time and wasn't playing well enough to pick up a victory. I think you could look at a number of moments against Georgia State where South Carolina just was taking a step backwards. They trailed early in that third quarter and needed the special teams in order to pick up a victory against the Panthers. Arkansas basically won the game because of some special teams mistakes by Cincinnati and some opportunistic defensive plays, which Arkansas was able to turn into 2 very quick scores. I mean, you scored 14 points off of turnovers, both of those drives in less than a minute. I don't think Arkansas's defense is one of those bend but don't break kind of defenses, but they did appear to be a defense that can get out there and make some big plays and be opportunistic when the time comes. I'm excited about what this defensive line could do moving forward. And it's kind of an interesting situation with the 3 returners who were the starters and continue to be listed on the depth chart as the starters, those being Isaiah Nichols, Deshaun Stewart, Zach Williams. And the transfers, not Drew Sanders, I'm sorry. Sanders, of course, lining up at linebacker, sometimes coming up to the line of scrimmage. But the 3 transfers that were backing up and got almost just as many snaps as the starters did, if not the same amount, in Terry Hampton in the middle, Jordan Dominic, and Landon Jackson on the outside. Those guys made some, to use a term that I hear quite often, splash plays. Jackson getting into the backfield a number of times. Did record his first sack as a Razorback and disrupted things quite a bit for Cincinnati. Dominic is a guy that just knows how to make big plays. He has recorded 7 forced fumbles over the last 22 college games played. And I've seen a highlight of him returning a sack, fumble, and recovery for a 70-yard touchdown against Kennesaw State last year. And Hampton just seems to be kind of exactly what you had from John Ridgway at times last year, which was a great run stopper right there in the middle. Arkansas should have a decided advantage on the line of scrimmage, and I think that's on both sides of the football, where the Razorbacks might have to be a little bit concerned, and maybe concerned isn't the right word, but a key for Arkansas this weekend against South Carolina would be, there's going to be pressure on KJ Jefferson, and sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing because with pressure in his face, KJ quite often is able to get away from the brush and create on the fly. I mean, heck, we saw that on that 3rd and 9, probably the play that's been talked about more than any other play throughout the week against Cincinnati, where he had, half a second in a pocket that disintegrated quickly, and then turned it into essentially almost a game-winning first down. Spencer Rattler's supposed to be able to move outside the pocket, and we'll see if Arkansas is able to bottle him up a little bit and get to him in that pocket instead of forcing him outside the pocket. Arkansas should be able to run the ball. You could probably say that about this Razorback team against nearly everybody, and I do wonder if South Carolina is going to be able to move the football on the ground against the Razorbacks. And those are some of my early thoughts here on this Friday with less than 24 hours now until kickoff, and I want to know what you think throughout this show. 877-377-6963. Do you put this one as a must-win game? I know when it comes down to game time, unless it's Alabama, I think everybody is looking at just about every game as a could-win game. And, yeah, I know there's lots of you that also are looking at Alabama as a could-win game, too. We're just going to go one at a time when it comes right down to this 12-game schedule. Yes, every game is very important, but there's also the way that you perceive a program depending on the situation of the game that they're playing in. Third year for Sam Pittman. Arkansas is a team that should be incredibly tough at home. They're a team that is physical. They're a team that we see can feed off of the crowd and your home game. God, you gotta win your home games against teams that you have better personnel. And I think Arkansas does have better personnel than South Carolina, a team that wouldn't say is necessarily rebuilding. They did some rebuilding last year and a 7-win season in Shane Beamer's first year, but it's not a program that I think should be able to go from one end of the SEC all the way to the other end of the SEC and pick up a road upset. So maybe this is a must-win game for the perception of the Arkansas program and just to keep momentum moving forward, because next week is not about momentum or anything like that. I mean, next week is a whole different situation playing an FCS team. Yes, I know a good FCS team. And there have been some shocking upsets on the road by FCS programs, good FCS programs throughout the years. Of course, there's going to be the soap opera of the return of Bobby Petrino next week, but beating an FCS team means absolutely nothing for the momentum of a football program that will then be going into a game against A&M and trying to make it a 2-year winning streak in the Southwest Classic. So, next week will be just sort of a soap opera week, I think, more than anything else. And this is the opportunity now for those who, look at Cincinnati and say, look, it's not an SEC team. Who cares if they were in the playoff? They're still a group of 5. They're still an American conference team. They don't have the toughest schedule. Maybe they win 9 or 10 games moving forward, but does that really mean very much? I don't agree with any of that stuff. I think Cincinnati looked like a pretty darn good football team that I think will improve upon what we saw last week. Well, now you get an SEC team. Now you get South Carolina coming in. And, hey, they play the SEC East schedule, of course, and they will play against Clemson later in the year. And now maybe you'll believe what you see on Saturday, since it's finally going to be an SEC team that is coming in. And I think Arkansas, look, I'll put a score prediction out there early here in the first segment of the show today. You can send us your scores all throughout the show as well, and I'm going to put it out at 38-28. I see Arkansas winning this game by 10. I think the defense will make a couple of big plays. I could see a couple of turnovers. Again, this does appear to be a defense that might give up some yards. And the secondary, probably should have given up a few more yards than Cincy gained last week. But they make plays. Dwight McLaughlin certainly seemed to have a nose for where to step in front of a receiver and return a ball 50 yards. Jordan Dominic's play was a momentum swinger. And if Arkansas is just as opportunistic tomorrow as they were last week, well, the game could really swing on just a couple of defensive plays that Arkansas turns into quick touchdowns. So your thoughts, your score predictions, and who do you think is going to end up with the biggest play of the game? Arkansas will be getting Dominique Johnson back theoretically. Now, I guess it's up to him. Whatever Sam Pittman said about it's going to be up to Neek if he is ready to dress out, but he's not worn the green jersey all week, which means he's been getting hit. Might have been tackled to the ground a couple of times, and I'd be surprised if Neek doesn't, try to get himself in there for week 2. But I'd be surprised if he gets the ball all that much. And that's because Rocket Sanders certainly looks the part of a number 1 running back. And, gosh, A.J. Green and Rashad Dubinion also look like They could be contributors in this offense here in Green's second year of the program and Dubinion's first year in the program. So, again, I'm putting it out 38-28 Arkansas. I want to know what you think throughout these next 3 hours, in which we have absolutely we have one guest. We have no guests after the next segment because Aaron Torres will join us in just a moment. And then we are clear for the next couple of hours here on halftime throughout the 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock hour. We also are without the one and only Matty T today, so it's just me and Drew. And I think everything seems to be in fairly good working order. You know, Matty doesn't say too much on the air, but he is the glue that keeps everything together. You know, if you got a glue guy in sports, Drew, I guess it's safe to say that Matty is the glue guy for halftime. Would that be accurate?
Oh, 100%. Matty's the glue guy. Without Matty, this ship will fall apart. Now, I just have to navigate this ship through very choppy waters for the next 3 hours. Luckily, I don't have to do it every single day because I honestly couldn't do it. Like I was telling you before the show, like I sat here and I got comfortable, and I was like, something's wrong. I messed something up because normally I'm way more hectic when I'm producing and co-hosting this show, and I was like, I definitely messed something up. I did. I typed out the restream title. I forgot to hit enter. So that's why if you're watching on Twitter, it still says The Morning Rush. Everywhere else, it now says halftime, but if you're on Twitter, it still might say The Morning Rush.
Well, at least it's an easy fix.
You're right.
You know, that's about as easy of a fix as it can be.
Nothing's on fire yet.
Not quite as embarrassing as realizing that when the tech support person on the other end of the line asks you if you've plugged your computer in and you realize it's not plugged in, I wouldn't say just hitting enter is exactly the same, but it's
pretty
in
close.
The same paragraph. But
as far as things that I could have messed up,
sending your way.
Yeah, as far as things that I could have messed up before the show, that's the one that's perfectly okay. That's the one where it's like, all right, mistakes happen.
Drew, that's going to be the way I feel later on this evening. It's going to be an action-packed afternoon. You know, once we're finished with halftime at 2 o'clock, Arkansas baseball has another fall scrimmage at 3:30 at Baum Walker. So I'm going to head down there and watch as much as I can. And then I'm making my volleyball telecast debut for Arkansas and Florida International in the Arkansas Invitational. So I've sat there and watched volleyball before. You know, I've been to about 6 or 7 volleyball matches, even watched a little bit of it on television, and even listened to a little bit of it on radio at the University of Pacific, which was, I don't know if it still is, but was a big volleyball program. But I've never sat there and actually talked volleyball to people who know what it is they're talking about. So this will be a very interesting evening. We make debuts a lot throughout our lives. It's just pretty rare that it happens with something that you're not really familiar with. We are familiar with Aaron Torres, though, from Fox Sports Radio and the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, and we'll get his thoughts on the Arkansas basketball schedule, which, of course, was released recently, and some other picks for the weekend in college football, so stay with us on halftime.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
I want to give your station props for getting Chuck on with you. That's fantastic.
I got tired of Chuck begging to come on.
It cost him a fortune, Brent. Don't kid yourself. Once they got that truck backed up to the door, we could finally talk business. Beep.
Little brink strut.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. The place to get your 22 Fords. Troy, you've got a bunch on the way, and you got a bunch on the lot right now.
Yes, we have several that's on the lot right now, and like you said, we got a bunch on the way. I think we've got 16 in transit right now. So come on down, take a look at what we've got coming in. A lot of this new inventory, it sells super fast within about 24 to 48 hours. So get down here and see what we have coming in. If it's something that you're interested in, or if it's the vehicle that you've been wanting, you can go ahead and put a deposit down on it. You can go ahead and secure your financing, and we can go ahead and talk about the deal and everything that pertains to that today.
I was looking at your inventory sheet. It's not just F-150s or Expeditions. You got a variety of models.
Yes, we definitely do. We've got 2 Mustangs coming in. We've got a Bronco coming in. We've got a Bronco Sport coming in. We've got a Ranger coming in. We've got the selection. If we've got what you're looking for, get down here. Like I said, put a deposit down on it. We go ahead and secure your financing and lock this deal down.
Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and BV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for Governor.
Calling all fans of flavor, there's something new at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Fridays Fajitas. Fajitas you love in bold new flavors like dynamite shrimp, tandoori chicken, and the spicier whiskey glaze blaze Tex-Mex. Right now, get free chips and queso with any Fajitas order. Dine in or order online for curbside pickup at Fridays.com. New Fridays Fajitas at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! People seen it, but they just don't know. People seen it, but they just don't know. People seen it, but they just don't know. People seen it, but they just don't know.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Aaron Torres is standing by, host of the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. He is the CEO of Aaron Torres Media and also appears on Fox Sports Radio and joins us here on Halftime every Friday, giving us his thoughts. And during college football season, lock of the week and things to stay away from. AT, how you doing? How'd you do last week? That's the better question.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been called CEO before. I like that. That got me going there. Picks were okay. You know, listen, I was on the wrong side of a couple coaching meltdowns, most notably Jeff Brom, who forgot that he had maybe he doesn't have run plays in his playbook, but what was it, 14 out of the last 15 plays with a lead, whatever. But I did have the Hogs. They obviously won and covered the point spread. And, listen, Cincinnati left some points on the field, but that's week one. And I was thinking about it with the Hogs too, Phil and Drew, is that it's amazing that we're at the point now compared to where we were 2-3 years ago where you can beat a top 25 team at home, come out of the win and just say, hey, we didn't play our best football. We have stuff to improve on. I mean, a win like Cincinnati 2 years ago would have been a rushing the field type moment. It's incredible how far this program's come under Coach Pittman.
You're right. You're right about that. And you kind of wonder if some of the things that happened last week against Cincinnati would happen with South Carolina. And I kind of doubt that because I just don't know if Spencer Rattler will miss open receivers, that have gotten past the secondary. And if you're looking for special teams mistakes, with Cincinnati made a few of them. That's how South Carolina won last week. But you know how this goes. I mean, you know how this goes. I've already seen your pick on this game. When push comes to shove and Sam Pittman is the head coach of the Razorbacks, he is the great coach who nearly always covers. I mean, is that one reason why sometimes you would pick Arkansas in one that's a little difficult to figure out which way you want to lean?
Well, what stands out to me, Phil, and it's funny, I'm fortunate enough to do what I do, and I do these interviews all over the country, and one thing that always stands out to me about certain programs, and certain programs in a positive way and a negative way, is who are you, what's your identity, okay? And so, I'm not going to bore you with different examples, but the thing that I love about Arkansas is we know, like their identity is we're going to control the line of scrimmage, we're going to run the ball right at you, we're going to have complete balance, we're going to play good defense, and that's how we're going to win games. And you go back to last year. Even when they lost to Alabama, it wasn't as though they deviated from that game plan and that blueprint. And so why I like that is because, one, consistently you know what you're going to get. It's not up and down like some other programs. Nothing is immediately coming to my mind, but we know those programs that every week you get something different. And then, two, I think it kind of plays nicely into a matchup with South Carolina, which wasn't able to run the ball well last year, did not run the ball well in week 1 against Georgia State. And I do like how this matchup breaks out. Now, to your point, Phil, again, there's things to work on coming out of week 1. Everybody has things to work on coming out of week 1. But what stands out to me is Arkansas. We know who they are under Sam Pittman. And I'll be honest, I'm not saying it because I'm on Hogs Radio. I really do like this matchup and how Arkansas matches up very nicely with the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah, I agree. I think when it comes to the line of scrimmage, Arkansas's got an advantage on both sides of the ball, and usually if that's the case, then the team that's got that advantage at the line of scrimmage is going to win. I don't know if it comes to cover, but I'm going to pick Arkansas to cover in this one. College football is such a weird sport, to try and put money on for that first week. Now you've got something to go by. But I kind of wonder, you've got guys also that cover the NFL on your site. How much do you think that they're using anything that happens in the preseason? Because you got your 3-4 games in the preseason to get your eyes on whatever NFL team. And maybe they play their starters, maybe they play their second stringers and stuff like that. College football stands apart even differently than college basketball, where they get a couple of exhibitions against like a D2 school or something like that. You can at least watch them. It's much different in college football. Week 1 is like the biggest unknown in sports.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think it's starting to increasingly become that way in the NFL, right? Where, I found it interesting last night, Matt Stafford, obviously the Rams are playing, but Matt Stafford, we're hearing these reports about, does he have a bad elbow? What's the deal? All that stuff. And I only bring it up because 3, 4, 5 years ago, you'd have something in the preseason to kind of react to, and maybe you would overreact, but there would be something. And with Matt Stafford, nobody saw him. Nobody got eyes on him. And so I think increasingly the NFL is becoming more like college football, where you go into week 1 and you really don't know what you're going to get and what to expect from the teams that you're watching. And with college football, it's even more extreme, obviously, Phil. And I think, it shows in, say, a game like Florida-Utah, where to me, what stood out about that one, it wasn't that Florida won. It was the fact that they won the way that they did, physical, tough, accountable, all the things that they weren't under Dan Mullen. That's exactly what they were, last week. I think you could say the same about Cincinnati. I thought Cincinnati, for the most part, looked better than I was expecting. Maybe if there was a preseason game, I would have felt differently about that game, or maybe the line would have been a little bit different, or whatever. Georgia, much the same. I thought if there's ever a reason for them to take a step back, this would be it, after losing 15 NFL draft picks and coming off a national championship, and they clearly have not missed a beat. So I just bring it all up to say, the NFL is one thing, but college football, as you said, Phil, is just completely different in terms of just really having no idea what you're going to get, in a positive way, and obviously in a lot of cases sometimes in a negative way as well.
Boy, are you right about that? And I want to ask about one of the games you've mentioned here, and that's Kentucky against Florida. And it used to be, you just took for granted Florida's going to beat Kentucky. What was it, like 30 straight years they'd beaten them until 2018? Now they've split the last 4 games played, and there's this theoretical battle for second place, already going into week 2 in the SEC East behind Georgia, between maybe Tennessee, but probably Kentucky and maybe Florida as well. It's a couple of interesting quarterbacks here. I don't hear a lot about Anthony Richardson's arm. It's all about his legs, and he's about as dynamic of a runner as it gets. With Will Levis, it's both at the same time, and Kentucky's also kind of like Arkansas, where they try to control that line of scrimmage on both sides. What are you seeing in this one?
Yeah, see, and I think to piggyback off the last question, Phil, the other thing that comes to mind with week 1 in college football is you can't overreact to it either, right? And so it is funny, Phil. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Think about this. You know, all offseason, the Kentucky hype machine was through the roof. I mean, Will Levis might be the number 1 pick. They're coming off a 10-win season. Their offensive coordinator gets hired by the Rams. Oh my God, it's that, you know, Mark Stoops is chirping at John Calipari in a way that I don't think any football coach since Bear Bryant would have been comfortable chirping at the Kentucky basketball coach. And Florida was kind of the exact opposite. Rebuild, it's going to take time. Billy Napier says after spring football, you know, we're open for business in the transfer portal, basically saying the guys that we have aren't good enough. And so then week 1 happens. Florida wins convincingly. Kentucky plays a so-so game. And you have Roman Harper on the SEC Network saying that Kentucky looks soft to him. And so it's just fun. This is what's great about college football. The narratives can flip so fast. But in terms of what I expect in the Swamp, I think it's frankly a lot of what we just talked about with Arkansas, South Carolina. Whoever can control the line of scrimmage, I think, is going to win. You know, I thought Florida looked better than I thought, but can they do it 2 weeks in a row? Is it, I don't want to say it's easier to game plan for Anthony Richardson, but there's a little bit more tape out on him now. He's not going to catch you by surprise, maybe the way that he did with Utah. And then on the flip side, from Kentucky, did not look good last week, but as you said, Phil, you know, they're recruiting at a really high level, maybe the most talent they've ever frankly had in their program. And so I'll tell you, man, you know, I know Alabama, Texas is kind of the quote-unquote headliner. The game that I'm most interested in this weekend is Kentucky, Florida, because I could see it really going either way. And then on top of that, it's like you said, Phil, I think whoever wins this game is going to have a strong argument with Tennessee as the second-best team in the SEC East.
So when you're seeing a game that's going either way, and it's a tough pick, you know, based upon the betting line, that's when you're going to choose the over or the under. I know with Tennessee, with Kentucky and Florida, you're going with the under here, and that's because you're not quite sure who's going to win this game. That's being a gambler who kind of, you know, understands what to do quite a bit, and your website kind of goes all at this stuff.
Well, thank you, man. Yeah, Aaron Torres online. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we no, I mean, listen, you know, I love to throw a little bit down, and you know, this isn't my full-time thing. There are professional bettors, but yeah, you know, with the over/under, it's exactly what you said. Is I think it's easy for anybody, and you know, I include myself, to again overreact to Florida. Kentucky sucks. Kentucky, or the opposite, Kentucky's, you know, underrated. Florida's being overvalued. But, you know, to me, I think it's going to be a close game either way. That Florida game, Florida, quote, you know, they not only won, but they covered as well last week. But you look at the flip side of that, I mean, they very easily could have lost and not covered if Cam Rising throws that touchdown pass. And so I'm only bringing it up because I'm only bringing it up to say that, you know, with this game, sometimes you got to look instead of at the line, just at the total. And I just think this is going to be a low-scoring, really physical game. And I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to kind of have an old-school SEC feel to it, but I do think it's going to be low-scoring. So, you know, my thought is I do probably like Florida a little bit at home. I learned my lesson about betting against SEC teams in their home venues, especially at night last week. But I would also say that, you know, to me, I could see the scenario where Kentucky wins, and so I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I just don't see there being a ton of points in this game.
AT, talking about betting against SEC teams at home, does that go for future SEC teams with Texas and Alabama? I mean, does Texas have a shot?
Drew, it's so funny, you know, I was on in Tuscaloosa yesterday with my buddy Ryan Fowler. I think you guys have had him before. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, I said, you've had some of the sharpest people in college football on your show, covered this sport for years. Have you heard anybody make the compelling argument why Texas can either keep it close or win? I thought he brought up a great point. He said the answer is no. But what he said was, if you listen to Steve Sarkisian's opening press conference this week, he said something to the effect of, this game has no impact on our long-term goals. Our goals are to win the Big 12, compete at the highest level. And it's like, did he just sort of concede that they're not going to win this game? Because, like you know, listen, we can criticize any coach in the SEC, right? Jimbo Fisher, whoever. No one, I've never heard a coach basically acknowledge, yeah, we're not going to win this game. So, you know, listen, Sark is, you know, the people that really know football, X's and O's, say he's one of the most brilliant play callers they've ever seen. To me, this game comes down to two simple things. Texas has 2 true freshmen on their offensive line. Alabama has 2 top 10 picks on their defensive line. That's not going to end well. And Texas's defense was bad last year, and for all the Quinn Ewers hype and all the transfer portal stuff, at the end of the day, none of those guys are on the defensive side of the football. So, Drew, I don't mean to duck the question. I don't see the scenario where it's close. I really don't, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but I just don't see it.
I don't see it either, Aaron. One thing that I do see, and I noticed that you saw it yesterday or 2 days ago with the SEC men's basketball schedule out that Arkansas has arrived. Do I need to save you a seat at Bud Walton March 4th?
They call it cyberbullying, Drew, is what they call it. A lot of people cyberbullying me into being at Bud Walton. What I would say is, listen, I do my Saturday radio show, but technology is an incredible thing. I don't want to promise anything, but listen, I tweeted it, I said it, and I believe it. This is just another, proof conversation that Arkansas basketball has arrived as a program that matters. And, I can't guarantee Final Fours. I can't guarantee national championships. I don't know what the season is going to bring. But when the TV networks, and we know TV networks decide all this stuff, when they want the final game of the season with Kentucky, and you can criticize Kentucky, Mark Stoops, whoever, Kentucky is the biggest draw in college basketball outside of maybe Duke. And so they are going to be very selective with who they have play them, especially late in the year when people are more locked in on college basketball. It shows that the people that matter in TV and in college sports believe that Arkansas is going to be one of those programs. And if Coach Muss and the crew to live up to the hype, I can't even imagine what Bud Walton will be like, and I don't want to make any promises, but yes, it is something I've very much considered, very much so.
Promise away, AT. They've already sold out season tickets. It's the last regular season game of the year at the Bud. It's on a Saturday afternoon. I know CBS is going to have that game. There's no reason for you to be on the couch for that game. None whatsoever.
My employers might have something else to say about that, but I'll have them call Phil Elson and see if Phil Elson can explain to them why AT needs to be at Bud Walton Arena.
Well, that'll just take care of it right then and there, for certain.
Do it, yeah.
We can plan a little bit more of this. As we get closer to basketball season. I'll start writing your bosses up. I just need their names, okay?
Okay, yeah. Please be nice. Don't get me in trouble, okay?
No, never. Would never do such a thing. AT, we appreciate you, man. Enjoy the football this weekend. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Appreciate it, AT.
Aaron Torres from Aaron Torres Media and the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. And just mark it in the books. He'll be there, Arkansas, Kentucky. Just got to write all the people at Fox Sports Radio and make myself seem, like I'm a little more important than I really might be. It is important. Tomorrow, during the Razorback game, you need to be at Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith, home of the half-price apps and half-price taps during every televised Razorback game. They got a television everywhere in the restaurant, so you always have a front row seat to enjoy your favorite apps and beers and the game. And those are half-price beers during the game. Joe's Grilling Cantina. Watch every Arkansas football game and enjoy yourself. They are at 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith, across from Harps, open Tuesday through Saturday. joesfortsmith.com or download the Waiter app to give them an order. Right back on halftime.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. Wow World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Got your score picks rolling in here on the text line, 877-377-6963. Shane in Van Buren says Hogs win 37-27. Shane, you're 1 point each way off my prediction. Did I give my prediction before you gave yours, or did you just say I'm going Phil -1? Yeah, I think you did too. Jesse in Mountain Home, 42-28 defensive touchdown scored by Arkansas. I think this defense will score a TD or 2 or 3 this season. I think they seem to be an opportunistic bunch. I also tell you what, the defensive lineman, like Dominic, is fast. I think Landon Jackson is fast. These guys pick that ball up. Watch him go the distance. Jamie May, 38-17 Arkansas, 300-plus on the ground and a couple of deep shots with KJ passing. And there's one thing I know fans want to see this weekend. I know you want to see a win more than anything else, but you probably want to see them open up the passing game a little bit. We had Quinn Grovey on halftime yesterday, and he also expected to see KJ go vertical a little bit. Well, they never went vertical last week. Not a single deep pass, but you've got receivers that are just made for strapping on Mercury's sandals and zipping right down the field as quickly as you can past a defensive back and catching it right over the shoulder. Matt Landers, Warren Thompson, and maybe Hazelwood too. It was the freshman wide receivers who've been spoken about quite a lot. I don't remember seeing them on the field at all against Cincinnati. But I think more than anything, it's nothing they've done wrong. You just have a pretty deep group of receivers anyway. All right, who's on hold? We got Cody on hold. What's up, Cody? How are you? You're on halftime.
Hey, guys. What's up? Hope you're having a good day.
Feeling blessed.
Well, yeah. Better now that you've called.
Yeah, happy Friday. Blessed. That's always how you say it. Hey, is Landers not is he not a freshman? Or is he a transfer?
No, Landers came in from from Toledo and was at Georgia before that. This is his 4th year of college football.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was about to say, man, if that's a freshman, that's pretty impressive. I would like to see. I mean, I'd like to just see some just blazing speed like that one kid to stretch the field. I'd like to see a deep. What I'd like to see Saturday is a deep ball. You know, I'd like to see that threat stretching the field. I think that would open it up more. Or like a 25, 30-yard post, you know, near the 50 off the 25, 30. But I think that's when you see the next step in the offense. And then you're basically just running the ball down their throat, too, to get those type of big plays. You know, it's going to catch them by surprise. But I was thinking about this. If Cal has a tough season this year, guys, like a mediocre season again, because this would be the 3rd in a row, I think, and Muss blows him out, do you think Cal's in jeopardy of maybe losing his job at Kentucky, guys? It's been a while, and I hate to talk about basketball in another school, but is Cal in trouble if he doesn't have a good season this year?
Well,
I mean, he's got a lifetime contract.
And I would imagine it also, I mean, it has to do with what happens in the NCAA tournament. I mean, they had a really good regular season last year. It's just that the season ended a lot earlier in March than any Kentucky fan would ever accept, certainly as a number 2 seed, and losing to a school that nobody knew existed before the game occurred. I wouldn't put it on anything that happens in SEC play or if the Hogs blow them out twice. I think it all has to do with what happens in March. And I see Kentucky getting to the NCAA tournament. I don't see any reason that they won't. So, I mean, maybe they have a subpar regular season but end up, run into the Sweet 16 or something like that. It's funny how a fan base that's used to, 30 regular season wins or something, if they just have an okay regular season but get to the 16 or the Elite 8, they'll probably be pretty darn happy. I know they're expecting Final Fours in Lexington. Yeah. They're not just happy with Sweet 16 or Elite 8. But it all has to do with what happens in March. Another first-round exit as a 2 seed. I mean, not the rumors, but the rumbles will start coming. But Drew's right. I mean, it's a lifetime contract. And I'm not sure what the buyout is or anything that goes along with it. I guess there would have to be a total implosion for Cal to lose his job.
But what I'm getting at is, and I'll be quick and then I'll get off after I give my prediction. Kentucky's the type of school, especially with what Torres said. He said, Kentucky, they win championships. They think they're next to Duke. In my opinion, my humble opinion, I believe Musselman takes more energy and motivation. He's got more momentum with the Arkansas program. I truly believe if Arkansas gets to the Natty or Final Four this year, Arkansas is the number 1 program in NCAA basketball in the SEC. There's no doubt at that point. 2 straight Elite 8s and a Final Four. Cal's in trouble, Phil. That's supposed to be the number 1 basketball program, and I don't care if he's a lifetime contract. He hasn't won a Natty since, 12? When was that? But anyway, my prediction for the game, we win by 10 or 14. I think we get a late touchdown off of a turnover from Rattler. I think he throws a pick. But you guys have a good one. Thank you for your time.
Hey, appreciate the call, Cody.
Well, I mean, Cody makes a salient point here. I mean, they haven't made the Final Four, Kentucky, since 2015. And that feels like a lifetime for Kentucky basketball. I think for their fan base, it feels like 2 lifetimes. And they've had a couple of 30-win seasons since then. Not last year, but 2019 lost in the Elite 8. Same after winning 32 games in 2017, lost in the Elite 8. So I mean, it is a salient point, for a program that views themselves as being a championship caliber team. We've had some SEC championships during that stretch. But haven't made the Final Four since. And, I mean, does it take another year making it to the Elite 8 or getting to the Final Four for Arkansas to be viewed as the top program in the SEC right now? I mean, I feel like you're ahead of Alabama. I feel like you're ahead of Auburn. I feel like Arkansas is ahead of Tennessee. And, I mean, look, the last 2 years, just had more successful seasons and a better run in March than Kentucky. Does it take a third year in order to, or just making it to the Final Four with Kentucky not getting there? That is the one thing that would be missing, would be a trip to the Final Four. You're not going to be viewed as the top program in the league if there's no Final Four appearance. That's just throwing it out there.
That is correct. And when it comes to how Arkansas, I think, is viewed in the SEC and nationwide, it's all about staying power. Now, you've done it back-to-back years. That is good, but that could still just be, a flash in the pan as far as the long history of college basketball. If you can show that you have staying power, that you can constantly be a top 8, top 10 team, then I think that you will be seen as the best program right now. You got to get that third year, then maybe even that fourth year in there to do it. And I agree with Cody. I mean, I get it. If I was a Kentucky fan, outside of the number 1 overall recruiting classes, 30 wins a season, that's great, but it doesn't matter if you don't win games in March. That's it. That's all that matters in college basketball. It's not like in college football you can hang your hat on a really good 10-2 regular season. I don't care if you went 30-1, during the regular season. If you went 1-1 or 0-1 in March, it's a bad season.
Yeah, there's just a handful of football programs where it comes down to what you did in the postseason, because the postseason doesn't matter for all but 4 teams, essentially, that are playing for the college football playoff. If Arkansas would have lost the Outback Bowl last year, I don't think you would have viewed it as an unsuccessful year. College basketball is a much, much different situation. So is college baseball. When the tournament basically decides what it is that you're doing, or where your success is, then it's all about the tournament. And the football tournament, well, it's not starting until 2024, 2026. And here's another number that might matter about Calipari and whether or not he stays there at Kentucky. $52 million buyout, which goes down $6 million per year. So I guess by the time the tournament's over this next season, it's going to be a $46 million buyout. Maybe that might have a little something to do with it. I have a feeling it does. Hey, maybe they print money in basketball at Kentucky. $52 million is a humongous number. Humongous. And we got a question in who leaves first, Cal or Saban? I'm going to go with Calipari leaving before Saban.
Ooh.
I just don't see Alabama being superseded in the SEC to the point where Nick, who just signed the 10-year contract extension, ever feels that kind of pressure that Cal is feeling right now. All right, Drew's got our first reset here on a Friday, next on Halftime.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith. Or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
September is here, and at Frankwell Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down, and no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing, family owned and service after the sale. All American made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frankwell Furniture. Best seats in the house.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands, like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $49.95 oil change, which includes 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at Exit 14 in Fort Smith today. For quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best in first-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Cooler weather is on the horizon. If football games and fall festivals are on your list of things to do and places to go, make sure your vehicle's maintenance is up to date first. This is Mark with W&W Automotive. Keeping your car and truck on a seasonal maintenance schedule will ensure better gas mileage, better wear on your tires, and a safer trip wherever you go. To schedule a fall tune-up, call me or Kelly at 242-1600 or drop by W&W just off Townsend on South O in Fort Smith. That's W&W Automotive, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
Hey, where's the rest of the beer?
I'm probably out unless you clowns brought some.
Well, I've already had 3. Who's going to get more?
Order it from your phone.
From where?
Sody's delivers.
You mean where my girlfriend gets her wine and those cheese plates?
And if you don't want to drive, that's where you can order it. My free beer is gone.
Sody's now delivers inside Fort Smith city limits. Just order from mysodys.com or download the Sody's app and order from your phone. Sody's Wine and Spirits. Experience different.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Sody!
Daddy worked like a mule mining Pike County coal. His back couldn't work anymore. He said, one of these days you'll get out of these hills. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Just bring you to tears.
Here on the last day of the week. And let's go to Drew for our first hourly reset.
All right, here's everything you need to know in hour 1 to get you through the rest of the day. NFL, it was back yesterday, and Buffalo Bills looked big, bad, and mean as they beat the Los Angeles Rams 31-10 in SoFi Stadium. Josh Allen had a very impressive day, 26-31, 297 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, though. Did have a good game on the ground, though, 56 total yards and another touchdown. Matthew Stafford, not terrible, but not great. 29-41, 240 through the air, 1 touchdown, 3 INTs. In Razorback news, redshirt sophomore Manuel. Dang it, the some of the names just always seem to stump me. Manuel Lozada posted a 67 in the final round of the Frederica. I practice these things. I really do. Frederica. Thank you. Frederica Cup to cap his best tournament as a Razorback, finishing 12th with a career low 54, a whole score of 205, and a career best score in relation to par of 11 under par. The Razorback volleyball team will play Little Rock, Florida International, and Colorado over the course of 3 days with 2 matches today. This Friday, Arkansas opens up with Little Rock. That match began about 2 hours ago at 10 a.m. Today, and they're taking on FIU tonight at 7:30. 30. The team will then take off tomorrow and return to Barnhill for the tournament's finale against Colorado on Sunday at 1 p.m. All of Arkansas's matches will be streamed live on the SEC Network, and live stats will be provided. Arkansas softball has announced its fall schedule for 2022, which features 8 dates to see the 2022 SEC champions at Bogle Park. Each event is free for the public to attend. They will have inter-squad doubleheaders on September 11th, 18th, 23rd, 30th, and October 14th. They will then host Louisiana Tech on October 8th for a doubleheader. Then on the 9th, we'll play La Tech again, along with Missouri Southern State. And they will play the Seminole State College on October 12th to round out the fall portion of Razorback softball. And besides the mess up on the names, that is your first reset.
Arkansas volleyball swept Little Rock 3-0. So that's a 5-1 record for the Razorbacks. They only lost coming against a nationally ranked Washington Huskies team. And I know these things because I'm on the call tonight for Arkansas versus FIU at 7:30 at Barnhill Arena. What else here? We just got an email here from, this is from the Jim Maui Invitational. The Maui Invitational. We know Maui Jim, I believe, is the sunglass company that sponsors it.
That is correct.
So an interesting little deal going on during the last time out of the second quarter at the football game tomorrow. And we're just going to tease that, and we'll tell you what it is when we get back from the commercial break. How do you like that? Because we want you sticking around for these next at least 10 minutes or so. Well, why don't you just stick around for the next 2 hours and 5 minutes? Because we got a lot going on, including the Golden Hour, your calls, your texts, your picks for the weekend with Arkansas versus South Carolina. Got some rules changes that have been confirmed and voted on in Major League Baseball. It might make some of you quote-unquote purists unhappy. Talk about Trey Knox, whether or not Dominique Johnson gets on the field, and a lot more into the second hour on Halftime right after this.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years' experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
United Hail Pros will fix your hail-damaged car, offering industry-leading paintless dent repair with zero out-of-pocket, a free rental car from Enterprise, and a lifetime warranty. Locally owned and operated. Schedule today at UnitedHailPros.com. Call United Hail Pros today at 479-309-3998. We're on our way.
Trust United Hail Pros.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Sunny sky today, our high this afternoon in the low to mid 80s. We're clear tonight and overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 60s. Sunny skies on Saturday. There is a chance of seeing some scattered showers and storms. Our high on Saturday will be right around the mid to upper 80s, and then seeing sunshine Sunday, our high near 80. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Tally at the 40, midfield, at the UCF 40, the 30, Tally at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Arkansas!
ESPN 95.3 and
It's
hitthatline.com. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Second hour, halftime here on your favorite sports radio station, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson, Drew Barrett alongside. Matty T's enjoying the start of a 3-day weekend, and we got football in 23 hours at Razorback Stadium with the Razorbacks taking on South Carolina. Teased a little bit of what's going to happen in the last time out of the second quarter tomorrow during the football game. Muss knows how to surf. I'm pretty sure of this. Spending as much time in San Diego as he did. I think I've heard him talk about surfing before. The Maui Gym Maui Invitational will present an 8-foot handcrafted custom-made surfboard to the Arkansas men's basketball team to celebrate their upcoming appearance in the 2022 Maui Invitational. I would imagine Muss is going to grab onto that surfboard before anybody else can get their hands on it. I mean, I don't have anybody on the team from California, as far as I know. I wonder how many of these guys know how to surf.
Do you know how to surf?
Live by the coast in order to know. No, I have no idea. I know how to body surf, which is much easier.
Yeah,
I can body surf. I can boogie board.
For the ride.
Get up on the surfboard, man. I don't think there's any way possible that I'd be able to pull that off. But I think Muss can. I think I've heard him talk about this, so I'm sure. Hey, if this team had as much fun in Europe, I mean, practicing on a basketball court next to the beach and playing a pickup football game in the ocean on game day, what sort of stuff can they get into on Maui, for crying out loud? I mean, there's great surfing in Maui. I've seen this before with my own eyes, and I would love if Muss would get up on the surfboard game day. I'd pay money for that. All right, we got some callers on hold here. Let's go to them before anything else. JW's been holding for a while, and we appreciate that. JW, you're on halftime. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Before I get into what I want to talk about, I want to congratulate you on having that boy on, Mr. Torres. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. And I've got a question. Does he come from a sports family? You know, maybe just my ignorance, but I'm just curious.
I've not heard Aaron talk about his family's background as far as sports are concerned. So I don't think he comes from an athlete family. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty thorough with everything.
Very well researched.
That's one of the reasons we like to have him on.
And not afraid to say what he needs to say. And that's nice.
Yeah, he's definitely not afraid. We've also learned throughout the years that you're never quite sure what AT might say in a moment where a plant might get dropped accidentally or something. But he's entertaining for sure, and not just entertaining, but he's kind of authoritative too, just like you.
Yeah, I like him. Anyhow, my question has to do with come Saturday, what happens if the defense steps up and going into the third quarter, we're up 2 touchdowns and Mr. Rattler is still ineffective and we get the ball back? I don't know the mind yet of Mr. Pittman as a commander-in-general. So does he say to Bryles, do whatever you want to do, I'm just going to turn you loose? Or does he play conservative? I'm just curious. I don't have any good read on that, and I'm curious what you all think, and I'll just hang up and listen.
I don't think you're going to sit on the ball much in the third quarter with a 2-touchdown lead, but we've certainly seen, based upon last week, it is an offense that can run out the clock. And certainly not just run out the clock like they did in the final 5:48 against Cincinnati, but maybe put together something like a 4.5-minute drive or another 6.5-minute drive just to bleed the clock. But what else do they like to do? I mean, they like to score quickly. That's part of the offense here. And you throw away time of possession, but think of the idea that this team, which is run-oriented, theoretically should dominate the time of possession, but that's nothing that they care about because they'll score quickly. So I get a sense it's an offense that on a possession-changing play, that's your opportunity to really grab a game with both hands. And once you repossess the football and get that defense back out there, I mean, they scored in 2 plays, both times after turnovers against Cincinnati. So it's a big play offense, and that goes along with scoring quickly. But one of the great things about this team is that they can also, put together a drive that is strictly running plays. And part of the reason that you can do this, it's not just turning and handing it off to Rocket Sanders or to A.J. Green or to Neek. You've got K.J. Jefferson that on a 3rd and 9, which theoretically should be a passing play, even if you're trying to bleed the clock, 3rd and 9 inside your own 50, that's a passing play. And initially that was the look, but you've got KJ who can turn that into a 14-yard run, So even on the passing downs, you got the kind of quarterback who might get pressured and turn it into a first down like we saw him do. But I would think, I don't think they're going to try to bleed clock or, just ground and pound in the third quarter after repossessing the football on like a strip sack or an interception. But it is good to know. I mean, it's a multifaceted offense. It's not just a team that scores quickly. They can score in a 10 or 11 play drive. So that'll be interesting to see if the pattern continues of, creating turnovers and then turning those into very quick points. All right, we got Eddie with us now. And Eddie has been on fire on my phone earlier this morning. He is fired up for Arkansas football. I know he had some moments against Cincinnati where he was just a little bit nervous about some things. But I think going into this one, Eddie is awfully excited. And Eduardo, I am playing this. I guess this is sort of like your new theme song a little bit. We've been doing Burning Down the House. We've played Fleetwood Mac for you and the Eagles and all of that, but here it is. Here it is. It's Burning Head. It's Talking Head Psycho Killer just for you. Eduardo, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Boy, am I pumped for this game. As I said in the South End Zone last weekend, what happened, it come to fruition. What I would like to see in an environment I call the burning house in the Hall Pound, and boy, did it take place. A 7th largest crowd, I believe, if I'm wrong, all time. And tomorrow, I went to the jukebox early. And what did I go to? I went to Cheap Trick. And I put on the flame. For the fan base, tomorrow, you got to be a flame in the burning house. So come to light the fire. Because you're the heart and soul of this all our programs. And you're certainly the heart and soul of this football Hawk train. And then I put on, as I told them on the morning rush, I went to Florida Georgia Line. This is how we roll in our house. And then, I like the beat. You're right. And the Talking Heads, the theme song all season long. Whereas please, let's welcome the Gamecocks and Coach Beamer to the burning house. Woo! I can see the flames.
Great stuff
now.
there, Eddie. I hear your theme. I hear your theme, and I'm going to keep you. I'm going to stick with this theme for you as we'll turn the music up a little bit here. You know the Pointer Sisters, right? That's right around the time where you talk Eagles, you talk Cheap Trick, you talk Fleetwood Mac, Burning Heads. Then you got to all be about the Pointer Sisters too. Next time you call, Fire by the Pointer Sisters. You got that right, my friend. Thank you for listening to our show. And Charlie's up next. Charlie, you get to follow Eddie. So I don't know exactly how to introduce you after Eddie does the Ric Flair woo, and we go through all the top hits of the late 70s, early 80s. But go for it, whatever you want.
There's no way I could ever even come close to that, man. I'm not even gonna try.
Sorry, but you have to. You got to follow him. I mean, somebody's got to bat after. Somebody had to bat after Babe Ruth, right? That's you.
Man, that's like batting after one of the best, the GOAT. I mean, one of the GOATs. Anyway, Phil, I wanted to talk about something last week, and I don't know if you recognized it. I'm sure you did. To me, last week, I didn't think, and they've talked about this a little bit, as far as pass protection last week, I didn't think we did a very good job. Granted, it's game one. I'm not saying every play we didn't block, but I thought as far as our standard goes, and Pittman touched on it, I don't think we did the best job in pass pro, and that could be part of the reason why KJ didn't take some shots, and he just, I know he missed a couple, but that he could have thrown down the field. But, I just don't think we did our best job in pass pro the other day. Whether it be, I think Trey Knox got beat inside a couple of times, and I still trust him. But, just in general, as far as run blocking, we were amazing. I mean, obviously, with the way we ran the football, but we can still be better. I do want to say I think that's something I want to look at this week. That's a little bit better. I think they will be better this week. Also, in the secondary, whether we play zone, man, whatever front we come out in, I expect them to be way better this week, Phil. I really do. I'm not, like everybody else, and because I know a lot of people on Facebook and Twitter were like, man, our secondary sucks, and we just this. And I'm like, after one game, that's what you come up with. They didn't have their best outing. It's game one, but I think they're going to bounce back, and I think they're going to play better. And I think we're going to win this game 37-21. That's just me, but we'll see what happens. It may be a little bit closer, but I think we pull away. I think we'll overpower them. I think we're more physical. I think we're farther along. Before I go, I respect the heck out of old Beamer. And the dude, I think he's going to be a great coach there. Also, I wish you guys wouldn't give Ty such a hard problem about what he was wearing, because I was scrolling down YouTube and I go, is that Ty with that cowboy hat and that whole whatever shirt that was? Drew, I just want to know, man, would you put that on in public? Even behind closed doors, would you put that on?
In public, yes. I have rocked a cowboy hat many a times.
I don't see you doing that, man.
Charlie, I'm from BFE, Tennessee. It's required to own a cowboy hat,
I know it's a country state and everything,
but
man,
not with
I would wear it out and about for
like shirt.
I'd wear it for like a theme party if that fit the theme. On television though, I don't think I'd do it. Not on TV.
Man,
there are real cowboys in Hawaii, okay? There are real cowboys in Hawaii. I've been to ranches on the Big Island of Hawaii. They wore cowboy hats. They didn't wear the flowery shirts. That's the thing. Look, everybody needs their own style, right? Ty certainly has his own style. I don't know anybody else that dressed like that before. But to borrow a phrase from Brendan Donnelly, who told 23-year-old me when he saw me walking through the parking lot of the baseball park wearing a baseball hat and the brightest, loudest Hawaiian shirt you've ever seen with pink flowers and bright blue background.
Nice.
He just looked at me and he was like, that's a bad uni, dude. I mean, what can you say after that? There are good unis and there are bad unis. The cowboy hat and the flowered shirt are not the greatest combination. That's the kind of thing. He almost looked like Marty McFly from Back to the Future 3, with the little, the atoms drawn on his shoulders, which was the silliest looking cowboy you've ever seen in your life. And to go on some of the thoughts here for Charlie. I thought Arkansas did fine in pass protection for the most part. And it isn't the worst thing in the world for KJ to get flushed out of the pocket. I mean, he is so creative, and I like it when he's getting out there and creating on the fly. I think that can be good things for the Arkansas offense, but I think pass protection they were fine for the most part. First week, I think they were just fine. But it is a pretty big key this weekend because there's some good edge rushers for this Gamecock team. Jordan Birch, Jordan Strachan, and Gilbert Edmond would be three guys that you're going to look at, and they may get some pressure on KJ. What he does with the pressure in his face is a whole other story because he's about as good as it gets when the pressure hits him. All right, quick break here on halftime. Calls and texts at 877-377-6963. And much more halftime coming after the break. Are you going to add Dominique Johnson to the running back room? A healthy DJ, how much does he work?
It's finally time. Game day on the...
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned.
I'm in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Hey, when you need a go-to lure for frog fishing, make sure you got the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher from Pradco. Smaller version of the Pop and Pad Crasher is the Junior, the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher Junior frog fishing. It will help you out there. It is the right size, has the right hook setup to catch them, and you'll find the Pop and Pad Crasher Junior from Booyah. Available at learnet.com, tackle stores everywhere. It's the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher Junior. Moving along on halftime, 877-377-6963. Yeah, we got some folks who know that there's a lot of horseback riding. There's a lot of cattle in Hawaii, specifically the Big Island. That's where I went horseback riding. Saw a lot of cattle up there. I mean, you picture Hawaii as like being, oceans all around you and everything. No, there's high plains too. And again, I don't remember seeing Hawaiian shirts and cowboy boots and cowboy hats. It was one or the other. It was one or the other, not both at the same time.
I don't know if I believe Hog Dog's text, though. He says, Phil, the state with the most cattle is Hawaii. As a rancher, he was surprised. I would be absolutely blown away if that's true, just because
I would
landmass,
too,
right?
Just because of the landmass when you compare Hawaii to, like, Texas, right?
That would mean there'd have to be, like, a cow every foot in Hawaii, right? Or am I just overestimating the amount of cows in Texas or Idaho, Wyoming, Montana? Like, am I overestimating that? Because it just doesn't feel right.
Who are we to question Hog Dog, who is
he's
a rancher himself, right?
Nobody questions
Hog Dog,
me
we
about
need to know
doing radio, so I guess I won't question him about ranching
when you bring supposed facts onto our text line, we need citations, we need references. I mean, didn't your teacher take credit off when you didn't have proper citation for these things? So we need citation, we need footnotes, proper references, and then we can start reading your texts on the air, Hog Dog. So apologies for reading it before you gave us those citations. Sterling's on hold. Sterling in Center Ridge. Hey, Sterling, I saw what do the Cardinals have? 24 games left? 9 of them against the Pirates. You're welcome, Sterling. You're welcome. You can credit the Major League schedule for that.
The Pirates have been down for a little bit, but it wasn't that long ago when we had the starting Game 5 with Garrett Cole for the Pirates, Wayne Wright throwing for the Cardinals, and I just thought it was going to be that the Pirates was going to be a force for many years to come, but that's just how it goes in the smaller markets. Even though I don't really understand, they got the luxury tag. I think that's what it is. And I don't see why that money is not being spent on players to improve teams. So it's just like those teams are just pocketing the money. And I saw the rule changes, and I don't consider myself curious at all. But I do consider myself a baseball fan. And these rules, I just don't like them. I don't. I know the game might need to be sped up a little bit, the pace of play. It seems like you all be able to do that without instituting these changes. And the shift, man, if you can't hit the ball to the other side, or you can't lay it down a bunt, that's your problem. I mean, Ted had to face the shift. Babe had to face the shift. And the Negro niggas, they had to face shifts. I mean, you did shifts because guys they didn't want to hit the other way. You pitched them that way, and you got to make the adjustment. I mean, to me, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to try to get more people to watch the game. I'm telling you, it's not going to help bring young people to the game. It's not going to bring more people to the game. Either you like baseball or you don't. Soccer can make all the rule changes in the world.
Sterling, I want to cut in just for a moment here about this. Just let me cut in for a quick moment about this because these are for different reasons. I love the pitch clock, honestly. I've been to about 5 or 6 minor league games this last season. The pitch clock has been instituted for minor league baseball. You don't even notice it. You don't even notice it. The game is moving so much faster, and you don't even notice that that you're never going to see a 3-hour game again in the minor leagues. Things will be different in the majors for certain. They'll be different in the majors because there's commercial breaks. You don't have that in minor league baseball. You also have replay. You don't have that in minor league baseball. You won't notice the pitch clock. As far as the shift is concerned, it's odd to constrain fielders to never being allowed on the outfield before the pitch is delivered, and also for having the situation where you got to have 2 fielders on each side of second base. But that's not about the pace of play. That's about the game and the way it's played. What they're trying to do there, the way that people try to beat the shift now, and you'll say if you can't lay down a bunt or you can't hit it the opposite way, then that's your problem. They're coached in a totally different way because it's more economical to beat the shift by hitting it over the shift and over the fence. And so baseball has become not as interesting to watch because the fielders and the base runners, things that deal with speed, have been eliminated from the game. Base running doesn't matter as much. Infield play doesn't matter as much. There's just fewer ground balls hit to them because everybody's trying to hit it over the shift and over the fence. This rule, as awkward as it seems, is all about reintroducing the ground ball to baseball and reintroducing enjoyment of watching infielders do their thing on a routine basis, and to try to look. You're never going to take away the importance of the home run, but now since you could hit a ground ball on the right side and it might get through, where in previous years with the shift it won't get through. And the Negro leaguers and big guys been dealing with the shift for 100 years or whatever, not at the rate that everybody deals with the shift right now. I mean, that was an oddity back in the day, a true oddity. When you saw 3 or 4 infielders on the same side of the base or the same side of the infield, that was so weird. Now it's almost an every pitch occurrence. And so what they're just trying to reinstitute things that make baseball fun, which are infielders making incredible plays because of their skill, and their skill doesn't matter as much as it used to. So I think it's an awkward rule, but I understand why they're doing it, and I'm here to say I'm for it too, because I love watching runners do their thing. I love watching fielders, make great plays or just make the routine play too. Ground balls, while they might be, they're democratic, right? That's what Crash Davis said. They're also exciting. They're also exciting because watching great third basemen and great shortstops do their thing is one of the great reasons that makes baseball such a great sport. So maybe that does, reintroduce something that baseball's lacking right now, and might be a little piece of the reason why the lack of interest is there too. And there is no such thing as a baseball purist, and there's no reason to get into that again because I've gone on that tangent a number of times. All right, now we can hit the break. 877-377-6963 to get with us on Halftime today. BetUS.com wants you on their site, back for their 28th year of NFL action, up to 200% sign-up bonus. BetUS will offer members the chance to cash in on all your favorite sports, NFL, Major League Baseball, college football as well. Go to BetUS.com or 800-79-BET-US. That is where the game begins. And Halftime continues to roll along next, so stay with us.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Ram Dodge Chrysler and Jeep, and folks, this is my favorite time of year. It's Jeep Freedom Days, and you know, at Red River, one thing we believe in, that's freedom. Like right now, you've got the freedom to order your car online at redriverjeep.com. You can custom build it and get it however you want. And you have the freedom to take the in-person experience and come in and order your vehicle right here from a salesperson, or buy one right off our lot. So make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut-rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Do you have concerns about the integrity of your roof? Liberty Roofing of Fort Smith and the surrounding area is here and ready to serve you. Liberty Roofing is here for all your roofing needs. Quality roofing services, licensed, insured, and certified. Give Liberty Roofing a call at 650-6231 to get started for a free roof inspection and estimate. Call 650-6231. Liberty Roofing is here to tend to all your roofing needs. Let Liberty Roofing cover you. Check us out on Facebook.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Razorback football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, what's happening, shouting? The king back. I know y'all miss a pimp, right? Yeah, but dig, there's been a lot of hate going on, okay? So let me holler at you something. First of all, look at here, dog. You might have seen me in the street, but shout it, you don't know me. When you holler, when you speak, remember you don't know me. You save all the hating and the popping, pimping, you don't know me. Quit telling people you my partner, listen.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Clarified this offseason that the horns down hand gesture would be a penalty. Have you addressed that with the team going into this game?
What's that?
The horns down hand gesture could be a 15-yard penalty.
I have not addressed it with the team, but I appreciate you letting me know that. So, we got a lot of other things we need to really worry about. But I think that's a good thing for me to go over with the team, so I appreciate that.
Did you got to see the look on Nick Saban's face when it came to this question coming? I don't know the reporter that asked him about it, but he's asking him about. Look, I mean, horns down is only a problem for Big 12 officials. I thought they might have given up on this after Texas decided to join the SEC.
I thought road team brought
but
its own officials.
So it's in their stadium, so it's still going to be a penalty apparently because it's a game being played in Texas. That's the only way I can come up with that I can figure this out.
At that point, because
I don't know.
SEC officials should follow the SEC rule book, unless it's been passed by the Texas House of the Texas House there and become an official state law. I don't see how it can actually be a penalty, but if it is, it is, I guess.
Well, then we need some clarification on this because Nick Saban is going to tell his players that it's a penalty if they give horns down, and he had no idea apparently that this is a thing. I love the look on his face, and then he needed the question to be asked again.
Clarified this offseason that the horns down hand gesture would be a penalty. Have you addressed that with the team going into this game?
What's that?
The horns down hand gesture could be a 15-yard penalty.
I have not addressed it with the team, but
I was waiting for an eye and for him to kind of go off on Texas at that moment, but it just unfortunately it didn't happen. The look on his face is absolutely priceless, and it's got to be asked. They've got to ask him this again once, after the game, and then whenever we know that when they join, like this has to be pressed to Nick Saban and every other SEC coach, so that we can get their legitimate reactions about this. I'm sure there are other coaches that are aware that a 15-yard penalty comes to you if you stick the horns down. Either now it's not towards the fans, it's towards the bench or towards one of the Texas players, with their pearl clutching and everything. Do the Texas players actually wear pearls on the? I would imagine if you're going to clutch pearls, you got to wear them on the sideline.
I'm sure they do.
Otherwise, you shouldn't be penalized. We got to look into this a little bit though about whether or not it will be a penalty based upon the officials that are in the stadium. This game is being played in Austin, so theoretically it would be the SEC officials. You're right about that. So maybe that's why Nick hadn't even thought about it.
Here's my thing about that whole interaction. I'm shocked the reporter stayed as calm because how many times does a reporter at a press conference get to legitimately say, I know something Nick Saban doesn't? I mean, I would have sat back kind of and, truly breathed in the moment that I knew something that Nick Saban didn't. Like, he just brushed it off.
It's very rare for news to be broken. That's breaking news in reverse at a press conference. It's supposed to go coach to reporter, not the other way around. So, hey, maybe this guy gets to ask one question of Nick Saban that he doesn't like and not get 3 or 4 eyes into it. Maybe that would be okay too. That'll be an interesting game. Aaron Torres. You're not going to go for the. He didn't want to pick the full game. I think Texas is a 20-point underdog or 20.5. So he's got Alabama up by 11 at the half, which was the number that he's picking on. It's a pretty light top 25 schedule. There's 3 games, just like last week, 3 top 25 games. Number 24, Tennessee at Pitt. You get the top 20 matchup in the SEC, 20th ranked Kentucky visiting number 12, Florida. And then there's a Baylor-BYU game, which will be a league game in just a couple of years. Baylor's ranked 9th. BYU is 21st. Did you see BYU unbanned the fan
I saw that, yeah.
that had been banned for supposedly shouting not one, but I think it was supposed to be a multitude of racial epithets towards a Duke volleyball player in a match last month. It's one of the first sporting events, I think, in college sports for this next athletic calendar. And, the BYU in a statement said, they'd reviewed video evidence, inside their arena. There's plenty of cameras, so there's evidence that they can go by this. They interviewed fans that were sitting inside the arena for this match, and even interviewed some of the Duke volleyball players and got no corroborating evidence of the Duke players' claim that a BYU fan called her almost every name in the book. I kind of wondered about how Arkansas would feel about this because they're going to BYU for football in October. And look, I mean, South Carolina's already canceled a women's basketball home-and-home series with BYU over this. And you're not going to cancel the football game, I think, right now. Carolina can probably reschedule whatever they need to as far as getting another opponent in. But I kind of wondered if Arkansas fans or the players specifically, I don't think this is the first time that this kind of thing has been brought up about BYU or really like Jazz games too. I've read a lot of things about the crowd at Utah Jazz games that kind of sound a lot worse than what happened or what did or didn't happen, depending on who you're going to believe here in this BYU Duke sporting event, this volleyball match. But the investigation, I guess this happened a couple of weeks ago. So that's like 14, 15 days of investigating video evidence, audio evidence, talking to people that were there and her own teammates. That's the part of it that I don't quite get. They might have said, look, we didn't hear it. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. But, they moved the visiting bench for their volleyball matches for this very reason. So that would make me believe that previously the visiting bench was close enough to where they should have been able to hear these things. So it's a really confusing situation going on there with BYU. And, hey, we're there in, 5 weeks? It's, a different situation. The football fans, and I've never been to the stadium there, but, football fans are quite a bit farther away, and you can hear what they're saying, but there's many more people. Like, the volleyball match, I can't imagine how many people would be in there, a few hundred maybe.
At the most, yeah.
1,000 or so. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be 60,000 or so, for the BYU-Arkansas football game, so maybe it's a little more difficult to pick things out of the crowd. Anyway, I mean, I just saw this come up before we got on the show, so if you got a thought about that, 877-377-6963. And as everybody just wants to talk about the horns down. Yeah, TC asks, is it a penalty if a Texas player does horns up to an Alabama player? What about that?
That's a good question.
If it's a penalty,
got to go both ways.
Can't there be a reverse to this? Yeah, I mean, there's defensive and offensive holding, right? Both sides can be can be called for hands to the face. I mean, there's even illegal blocks on defense now. You're not allowed to block below the waist outside the tackle box, and that's on both sides. I think didn't Jalen Catalon get called for that this last weekend? So with all of that, I mean, there's equal penalties on both sides. So theoretically, then there should be a penalty every time a Texas player does a horns up. Let's get Greg Sankey on the line and take care of that before they join the SEC. And there's another one. Charlie.
Has Sankey clarified about what it's going to look like when they do join the SEC?
No, I don't know. Maybe one of us needs to be the first. Somebody's had to have asked that sooner or later, right? I mean, Texas. The announcement was in the summer of 21. Mm-hmm. This is like front and center when you're thinking about Texas now because of the pearl clutching and the Big 12 protecting them. I can't imagine it's going to be a penalty in the SEC. I really can't. But then again, I don't know another hand gesture outside of, a very special hand gesture or two that might get anybody penalized, no matter who you're throwing it at. One specific finger and another hand gesture. That would be it. That and horns down. I never thought I'd put these things together. And there's another one. Charlie, Dustin, TC, all asking why horns up is not a 15-yard penalty on Texas. It's a really good question, and the only answer I can give you here is because life ain't fair, and neither is football. 877-377-6963 on halftime, and we are brought to you by The Fenceman. Great jobs available at The Fenceman right now. You just got to head over to their headquarters in Fort Smith. They offer a great job, great pay, and they'll give you a $500 sign-on bonus to get in there. The Fenceman looking for fence builders or anybody with building experience to join the top fence building team in the entire state. And the Fenceman is at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. And the Fenceman is also an equal opportunity employer. All right, we've see what we got coming up next here on Halftime. Trey Knox, Mackey Award winner. And I want to talk about Dominique Johnson maybe getting into the mix offensively for Sam Pittman's Razorbacks. When you have such an incredibly talented group of running backs, each that do things differently. And we saw this last year. I mean, how do you split these carries? Will Rocket get 20 or more again? Stay with us. Halftime continues.
Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland. With their G3 boats and Suncatcher pontoons, you will find quality you can trust, including G3 boats by Yamaha's industry-leading limited lifetime plus 5-year warranty from bow to stern. Performance you can see, quality you can trust, and the satisfaction you feel with G3 boats and Suncatcher pontoons. Don't miss Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma's 2022 model clearance event through September 21st, and view their complete inventory online at autofindersok.com.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all your fishing gear for summer trips at the lake or river. Check out the fishing kayaks by Old Town and New Canoe. Summer savings up to $300 off select model. Get ready for fall archery season now with a new bow by Hoyt, Matthews, Elite, and Bowtech. Jelco has the largest selection of box blinds for fall hunting. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors during the good old summertime. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. You need a sports book with integrity and longevity, and you need to know that you're going to get paid. You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives better bonuses than BetUS. Join now and mention ESPN Arkansas, and you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Head to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the game begins.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Road Chevrolet Van Buren is hosting their second annual car show, Saturday, September 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right out front on the lot. Hot rods, food truck, giveaways, face painting, and vehicles of all makes and models. This event will be fun for the whole family. Have a cool car or know of someone who does? Call Savannah Neal at 479-474-4000. Road Chevrolet Van Buren, exit 2A off I-540. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Baby, since you left me, there's somebody new. She thinks I'm perfect, I swear.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
All right, I got to know where Hogdow got his information from about Hawaii having the most head of cattle in the country. Is this like a per capita thing? Is this per square mile? Because that's the only way I could imagine this being right. I got a tweet with a link to a website called drovers.com. Perfect. Drover. Makes sense. This would be a website that should know all about cattle. Texas is by far. This is going to 2018, so if things haven't changed dramatically in the last 4 years, Hawaii is nowhere near the leading cattle-producing state in the country. Again, it had to have been cattle per square mile. It's the only way that I could figure that out, because Texas had over 4.5 million head of cattle, and Hawaii had 75,000. That's a lot. It's not a close game.
No, that's not even in the same ballpark.
Yeah, Texas covers the spread in cattle producing, and in, having the most annoying football team on earth. Here's Drew with our second reset of the day.
Here is the second set of things you need to know to get through the rest of your day. Not a great day for the Cardinals yesterday on the scoreboard as they lost to the Nationals 11-6, but one bright spot was Yadier Molina as he hit 2 home runs, and here's how it sounded on Valley Sports.
Molina, deep drive down the left field line. Gone! How about that? On a record-setting day for Yadi and Waino. It's not behind the plate, it's at the plate. A 2-run bomb. Yadi another down the left field line. And it is gone. He's done it again. His second home run just clears the wall and left. Yadi 2 for 2 with a pair of homers.
Big NFL weekend this weekend as the NFL gets started for all the other 30 teams. Some of the games that you can watch, you'll have a bunch of games on at noon as normal. Ravens versus Jets, Saints, Falcons, 49ers, Bears, Steelers hosting the Bengals. You have Eagles, Lions, Patriots, Dolphins, Jags, Commanders, Browns, and Panthers. And in that Browns and Panthers matchup, it's obviously Baker Mayfield's first game with the Panthers facing his old team. Here is Baker on his return to Cleveland.
Like I mentioned last week, I think it's a great storyline. Obviously, there's history involved. Leading up to this week, there's other games in the NFL that guys are playing their former teams. It's the excitement leading up to week 1 that I think is building that anticipation up. But for me, it's the familiarity. Anytime you're playing guys it makes it just more interesting, more fun. You get to smack talk a little bit with your buddies that you've been with for a little bit, and you know how to poke and prod and get the best out of them. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Other news in the NFL, statement was released earlier today by Baltimore Ravens general manager Eric DeCosta. He said, despite best efforts on both sides, we were unable to reach a contract extension with Lamar Jackson. We greatly appreciate how he has handled this process, and we're excited about our team with Lamar leading the way. We will continue to work towards a long-term contract after the season, but for now, we are looking forward to a successful 2022 campaign. The last time the Ravens had a quarterback turn down an extension and bet on himself with a 5th-year option was Joe Flacco. And that year was 2012. And if you remember your history books, that was the last time the Ravens won a Super Bowl. There's plenty of football outside of Fayetteville this week going on around the natural state. You got Arkansas. They're at the Horseshoe taking on number 3 Ohio State. Central Arkansas is in Oxford to take on number 22 Ole Miss. Pine Bluff, they're going to host North American. Arkansas Monticello versus Oklahoma Baptist. Henderson State at Northwestern Oklahoma State. Ouachita Baptist versus Southern Nazarene. Harding's hosting Southeastern Oklahoma. Arkansas Tech is at home against East Central. Southern Arkansas takes on Southwestern Oklahoma State. And Hendrix is on the road in St. Louis against Washington. And that is your second reset of the day.
So looking through the NFL schedule for this weekend, just see one other matchup where there's a quarterback that's taking on his former team, and it's not on Sunday. So that's, as far as Baker's concerned, that's the most interesting, what is he going to do sort of matchup against his former team. The other would be Russell Wilson and the Broncos visiting Seattle.
Technically,
and
Jets
the Seahawks.
Jets and Ravens. I mean, Joe Flacco will be starting for the Jets.
Well, that's true. I'd forgotten about Flacco and Zach Wilson being injured for who knows how long. Yeah, and the conversation isn't all. I remember the conversation when Flacco, was the Ravens quarterback. Is he elite? Is he not elite?
I thought he was.
He's not anymore. Well, I think back then maybe he was. He was against the Steelers at times. I remember that for sure. I wouldn't put him being elite with the New York Jets. Just now, yeah. Dustin's like he still plays. We never know about those backup quarterbacks that are still around. Yeah, there's 3 quarterbacks dressing for Pittsburgh. They haven't done that in I think 25 years. And is Mason Rudolph really the second stringer, or is Kenny Pickett really the second stringer? They got Pickett listed as the 3rd string quarterback, Rudolph behind Mitchell Trubisky. I kind of believe that Pickett is more of the backup, but they're just not going to list him as the backup for the first week of the year against the Bengals. I don't think that's going to go very well for Pittsburgh. As far as some of those other games you mentioned, Henderson visiting Northwestern Oklahoma State. Alva, Oklahoma it's not the end of the earth, but it's pretty close to it. Mm-hmm. Been there for a few games. Takes a long time to get there. It is close to the Panhandle in Oklahoma. Not decent little football stadium, but and is also an interesting little you don't want to call it an airport. It's just a tiny little building with a tiny little airstrip. But it used to be a POW camp during World War II. Yeah, they hosted German POWs in Alva, Oklahoma during World War II. You wouldn't know that unless you were there. And I have been there, and yes, it is pretty near the end of the earth. Washita, Southern Nazarene, it's one of the many holy wars in the Great American Conference. And with Harding visiting Southeastern, I kind of wonder if the old name of Southeastern Oklahoma State's teams is still on the water tower in Durant. They're called the Savage Storm now. They used to be the Savages, and we don't go there anymore. No. Thank goodness. Hopefully they've brushed that off the water tower, too. All right, we're heading into the 3rd hour and final hour of halftime. Makes it the final hour of the week, so it's the golden hour of halftime. Get with us at 877-377-6963. Coming right back on halftime.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and worried about your cost rising? Interest rates are rising and you may have a problem. Farm Credit can fix that. Talk to Farm Credit about locking in a long-term fixed rate for the life of your loan. Farm Credit's long-term fixed rates offer peace of mind in changing economic times. We're offering the longest terms in the ag industry. Talk to Farm Credit today. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for Governor.
Finding that missing shin guard. Remembering whether it's a home or away game. Getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things. Like not being that fan.
Oh, come on, ref.
That's simple human sense.
Visit the Charles Osborne Agency in Greenwood or call them at 996-2129.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Sunny sky today, our high this afternoon in the low to mid 80s. We're clear tonight and overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 60s. Sunny skies on Saturday. There is a chance of seeing some scattered showers and storms. Our high on Saturday will be right around the mid to upper 80s. And then seeing sunshine Sunday, our high near 80. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Tired of the ESPN broadcasters? Pause your TV and sync up the broadcast with Chuck and Quinn on hitthatline.com or your ESPN Arkansas radio station.
Proceed.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
"60 minutes left in our week here on Halftime, and that means it is the golden hour. 15th hour of radio here. We've moved into our third hour for 3 weeks now, and certainly getting used to it. Hope you've enjoyed the extra hour of entertainment, information, and everything else that we might throw at you. So be a part of it here on 877-377-6963. 22 hours away from kickoff at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. And let's get some tips for those who are coming to the football game tomorrow. Understanding that, an early kickoff means, well, there's a couple of things it could mean. One, either wake up really early to make sure you get there on time, or just late arrivals, or basically like a crush into the stadium just before kickoff. So some notes that are coming straight from the athletic department here for those who have tickets. Take these either mental notes or write them down, whatever. Download your tickets before you get to the stadium. Don't go to the box office, and don't download them at the stadium. You can tell that the cell phone service gets iffy with 80,000 people in the stadium, and then however many are around the stadium too. I remember looking at my phone during the pregame show, and I had 0 bars. It was totally off. So if you're showing up to the stadium and expecting to download your tickets while you're in line, don't. Do it at home where you got or either, on the drive in on the freeway when you still have your signal, because chances are the signal and the speed of the internet that you need in order to download those tickets it's just not going to be there at that time. So download your tickets before you get to the stadium. 2, I'd heard a lot about the metal detectors from last week, and I think in one case there was just one metal detector that was working, but you don't have to take anything out of your pocket. They've made it easier here for this. Sometimes you expect, you're flying commercial, you got to take everything out of your pocket, take off your belts, remove your shoes and everything like that. You don't have to do any of that stuff when you're going to a Razorback game, and that's, I think, at any of the events. So you just walk right through the metal detector. Don't take anything out of your pockets. Your phone stays in your pocket. Your keys stay in your pocket. Your wallet, even if it's one of those metal money clips that I've been using now, just walk right through. You'll be just fine. So that'll quicken things up too. The gate that's on your ticket is just a suggestion. You don't have to go into the gate that is printed on your ticket. Any gate is fine. If you got a ticket, they'll let you in. So don't worry about that. And if there's a gate that's backed up, move to another one. And chances are, if it's backed up one place, it might not be backed up at another place. And arrive early. So, yeah, if you usually, get to the stadium or you're looking for your parking spot about an hour before kickoff, give yourself another 30 to 45 minutes. And probably need to take that into account for every 11 o'clock game. So, the athletic department certainly, I think, is doing their part. Hunter Yurachek's statement a couple of days ago mentioned that. If you go on to the ArkansasRazorback.com website, they've got links that show you the traffic flow, the regional traffic flow up here in northwest Arkansas, every exit in the direction that you're able to drive to the parking lot. So that'll take care of that. And there's parking. There's a campus map as well for pregame and for postgame. So if there's any confusion as to, what's the one-way street, what's going to be a two-way street, the Razorback website, ArkansasRazorbacks.com, will have all that right there for you. So, some of it's on the athletic department, certainly, but, these are things that you can do as a fan that also make things quicker to get into the stadium. And then I didn't get anything about the concession stand, so that's really all going to be on the athletic department. Although I do know, it's no cash, so you got to have a card with you, and that also should theoretically make it quicker too. Nobody's making any change, and I don't have to. You still see, and look, if we're doing this, it's okay because money is money. But at the grocery store, it's like, what's worse, someone who writes a check or someone who's doing exact change? Because I've seen recently at the local supermarket exact change, right down to the penny. Ugh. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's like, all right, I've looked at every single cover of Weekly World News and Sun and the National Enquirer and this cooking magazine and all of that, and I've scanned every single piece of candy that's here on the aisle, and now it's time for you to pay so that I can get my stuff before the frozen stuff thaws out completely. So, yeah, there are things customers can do, too, to move things along a little quicker. So, again, download your ticket before you get to the stadium. Not just that, but also just get there earlier. That's usually a good way to make sure things move quicker. Walk right through the metal detectors. Don't take anything out of your pocket when you walk right through. The gate on your ticket is just a suggestion. You can go in any gate, and if a gate's backed up, just move to another. These are simple things, I think, so just wake up a little bit earlier. Simple as that, right, Drew?
It should be. Also, with a lot of things, and those were great tips, but a lot of things that I think that so many people that overreact to concession lines, react to wait times, react to a lot of things, just traffic. There's over 70,000 people in one place. Things are going to take time. It's not going to move along with the breeze. Now, there are better ways of doing it, I think, that have been shown by other teams, and ways that you can direct traffic, make two main streets that are normally two-way, make that a one-way, help everybody shuttle to one area, and ultimately kind of make a sign that traffic must flow this way, no off turns until you get to 49 and then go up, and then you're just going to have to take a detour if that's not the area. I think that'll help a lot of people out right there. But also just remember that when there's 70,000 plus people at one place, you're not the only one that wants a hot dog. You're not the only one that's a little thirsty. Be patient with other people. Don't overreact at the slightest inconvenience. And I'm not saying that everybody's like that. Very few and far between. But the people that do make such a big deal out of it and such a big scene about it that it drives me insane that they just can't get their mind around, I guess I don't get a hot dog because 20 other people want a hot dog too. Like, well, yeah, buddy, like that's how it works. If you wanted a hot dog, you didn't want to wait in line a little longer, maybe you should have left before they went to timeout, before they went to a TV timeout. Maybe, if you really want a hot dog, you're going to stick around. So just everybody stay calm. Let's all be patient. Let's be nice to one another. And it's going to be a much smoother and better experience for everyone.
All right, and then there's what's happening on the football field. Dominique Johnson may or may not be back. St. Pittman said it's really up to him. They've had a couple of days where they've had physical practices with Dominique, and so, I guess they're kind of leaving it up to him as to whether he feels ready or not to get out there and take whatever pounding might be coming his way. Rocket Sanders ran 20 times last week. He'd never run more than 17 times last year as a freshman. You know how often a running back last year carried 20 times for Arkansas? Once. One game, and it was the first game against Rice. Traylon Smith ran 22 times. That's it. That's amazing, to think for a team, and look, we know the reason why, but for a team that is the number one Power 5 rushing team in the country, and outside of, a triple option team, this is the best running team in the country from last year, and you've returned just about everybody from that. It's such a deep stable of running backs that you never have to overwork anybody. But like Rocket Sanders, when I watch Rocket Sanders, I see a 1A running back who has the speed, the size, the hands to be the dude on this team, and somebody that I think NFL scouts should be drooling over. But I think Dominique Johnson, just based on what we saw last year, is also an incredibly good running back. And for someone of that size to have those feet, he's got such incredibly quick feet and a really good blocker in the backfield, probably better than Rocket Sanders. You got to find a way to get both of these players involved. And maybe there'll be some rust that Neek needs to shake off. But I'd love to see him get involved in this offense. And then there's A.J. Green and Rashad Dubinion. Both of them. A.J. showed a lot against Cincinnati. Dubinion, what did he get? 3 touches? And on each of them, he did something that made you go, whoa. A catch and a run for 22, if I remember. He stuck his foot on the ground and juked out a defender for a first down on that last drive of the ball game. You lost a good running back in Traylon Smith, but he brought in another good one, I think, in Dubinion. And then you add K.J. Jefferson into it here. So it's like, how much could Neek really be involved here? Like, he started towards the end of the season last year, started in front of Rocket Sanders. And so what's to say that if he didn't get injured last year, and we're still wondering exactly what the injury was. We've had some listeners texting that think that he had an ACL tear and just recovered very quickly from it, but we're not even sure what it is. What's to say if he didn't get injured that he wouldn't have been, 1A, RB1 for this club? Because I think that's how they viewed him at times last year. It's just awfully difficult to look. And look, I think AJ is really good. I think Dubinion's really good. But when you look at these two, you basically have 2 starting running backs there. And I don't know if it's a matter like you got to keep him happy with this and that. They got enough carries last year and were involved enough and feel, that this is their team to where, they stuck around knowing full well that nobody's going to be getting 25, 30 carries per game, even for a team that, might run 40 times in one football game. So I just wonder, I expect Sanders to get another 15 touches. I don't think he'll get to 20 again. But how much will Dominique be involved? Because you really want to, first of all, you get him in there. You want to see him take the hit, right? You want to see him get hit, bounce back up, and see if he's able to take another one. And see if he, cutting in practice is one thing. Cutting on that knee in a game is another thing. Because then you got to make another 2 or 3 cuts and get hit. So, I'm very interested to see how early they involve Johnson, if he does play, and how much play time he will get. Because a healthy Dominique Johnson is one of the better running backs in the SEC.
No, he definitely is. And I think that you don't have to worry about, certain number of carries for each guy. Because if you look around the landscape of football, you especially look at the National Football League, there really isn't anybody that runs with one guy. Now, there's starters, and then there's backups, there's third down guys, but you have more of a revolving door at the next level to where I don't think you have to have the tape and don't have to be able to show scouts that you can put 40 carries on my back and I'll be good to go. Outside of Derrick Henry, nobody is carrying the ball that much in the National Football League. So you can still have plenty of tape, getting those 8 to 12 carries a game and being able to spread out the ball. And ultimately, we haven't heard of any problems in that running back room, right, Phil? We haven't heard anything, any distaste for each other. So it feels like everybody in there has bought in. and they've bought into this is my role. This is what I need to do to be successful. If that means take advantage to the best I can of the 5 to 7 carries I'm going to get, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to worry about, the fact that maybe Rocket had more carries this game. Maybe Dominique Johnson had more carries. Maybe A.J. Green took a few carries away from me today. Like, you're not going to worry about that because it feels like everybody truly is bought in on the plan.
Well, then we'll see what the plan is going to be on tomorrow against South Carolina, because the plan usually is to establish the run and go from there. I don't see anything that's not going to keep Arkansas from establishing the run against the South Carolina defense. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime. Take a quick break and remind you about Washita Farms' new full-spectrum seltzer. It's called Lark. If you haven't tried this at your tailgate or at your watch party or just at home recently, well, you got to get a shot with this. No sugar, no carbs, no calories, and no alcohol at all. And you can still catch a buzz with no booze because Lark is infused with the exact right balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD. You'll find Lark at your local adult beverage store in flavors like strawberry, guava, mango, grapefruit, and berry. Or you can just have it shipped to your doorstep by going to larkhemp.com. That's LARKHEMP.com, larkhemp.com. You've got to be 21 years of age or older to consume Lark. All right, we're coming up on picks in just a bit, and calls and texts are coming up next on Halftime.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot,
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Hey, back again at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. I noticed as I pulled into the lot, the sign, it says up to $10,000 off on the manager specials. $10,000.
I know it's crazy, but you know what, Tommy? I mean, we pretty much sold out of all of our manager specials up there last month. And for some reason, when you take $10,000 off of a vehicle, people want to buy it. So come down here and see us. We still have manager specials up there that are up to $10,000 off of the asking price. We are where you want to buy your next vehicle here at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford.
Austin's here. Austin, just because you're out of the original lineup, you got a new lineup and a great selection.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a couple cars, mid-size SUVs. I got a couple minivans up there, and I think I got 3 or 4 trucks. It says it very clearly on there. It tells you what retail is, tells you what our price is, and it tells you what the savings is. You can't beat these deals. You got to come see it.
Get up to $10,000 off right now on the manager specials. They're right on the front row here at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. It's another free weekend at World of Wireless free installation. Lock in your price for 2 years, movie channels for free, and the free Google Hello doorbell system this weekend absolutely free.
Yeah, lock in your rates. Not only will you save money by switching to Dish, less than $70 a month with your locals, HD, and your ESPNs. You get the multi-sport pack free through the end of yours, so you get all the additional sports channels you want. You get free high definition, free installation. You get the Hello Nest doorbell system, $150 value free. But I think one of the most important things is the voice remote. You get a free voice remote in every TV in the house that you can speak to. It will actually interact with your Google Nest systems in your home. You can actually say, hey, turn off living room lamp. So you can grab your voice remote and say, hey, Google, turn off living room lamp. It's a great product. You can do it in any room, and those are free included with your new high-def Hopper system from Dish.
It's a free weekend at World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is the number, or stop in and see them at World of Wireless in Barling.
Road Chevrolet Van Buren is hosting their second annual car show, Saturday, September 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right out front on the lot. Hot rods, food truck, giveaways, face painting, and vehicles of all makes and models. This event will be fun for the whole family. Have a cool car or know of someone who does? Call Savannah Neal at 479-474-4000. Road Chevrolet Van Buren, exit 2A off I-540. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't find nobody else.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
And there's a couple of college football games that are on the schedule tonight. Louisville and UCF, 6:30 kick on ESPN2. Boise State and New Mexico are an 8 o'clock kick on CBS Sports Network. Apologies to the listener earlier who texted in asking for Aaron Torres' prediction on the over or under on that game. I wasn't ready to ask him a question about a game that I was pretty sure he didn't really have the information on anyway. So I guess we got to wonder about that another time.
I don't know who's coaching at Boise State right now. Do you?
No, I don't. That's right. I'm not even sure who's the coach. I don't know
if I can ask about a game.
We've got each team in Fayetteville in tomorrow's game has a coach that's coached with the opponent as well. Justin Stepp is the wide receivers coach for South Carolina. You remember he was the lone holdover from the Chad Morris staff that Sam Pittman kept for 1 year, and then took the job at South Carolina because that's where he's from, and so that means he recruited Trey Knox and a number of other guys that still remain on this team. And I remember guys had really good things to say about Justin Stepp, specifically as a recruiter, and he did come here with Chad Morris. Deke Adams was the defensive line coach for South Carolina under Steve Spurrier for 3 seasons, 2013, 2014, and 15. That means he was the defensive line coach when they had Jadeveon Clowney, who was the top overall pick, 2014. So got to mix them. Both the coaches know each other very well. Although, like we played yesterday, I think like Sam Pittman, I don't know if he underplayed it a little bit, but Shane Beamer got more in depth about what Sam Pittman helped him out with as far as coaching tight ends and learning a little bit about offensive line play. And speaking about tight ends, Trey Knox yesterday was Week 1 Mackey Award tight end of the week. And he's still, you're a little, I don't know what I want to say, like thin at tight end necessarily. Nathan Bax got out there. He did have a 2 tight end set every once in a while. I don't remember seeing Hudson out there much at all. And after that's all you got. As far as tight ends, you got 3 big-time recruits coming in next week. But Trey is a great weapon at that position. Blake Kern had his moments last year. I mean, we talk so much about, Reed Bauer, this great pass on a fake punt, or was it a field goal? I forget exactly where it was that he threw it off of, but Kern saved him.
I think it was a field goal
from that one. Yeah, that's right. And Kern saved him. If I remember, the pass was behind him. Yeah, that was in Alabama, and the pass was behind him. But I wouldn't say like Kern was necessarily like. He was decent offensively when it came to catching and running. Good enough. and improved. A guy that I think had a great story. Barely played his first 2 or 3 years, and then turned himself into the starting tight end. But you wouldn't have moved Trey Knox to tight end last year if there wasn't a deep need at that position. And Trey is like the first real weapon at that position since C.J. O'Grady or Cheyenne O'Grady. I forget which he changed his name to. And but Knox is a better teammate overall. I mean, O'Grady quit, his last month, and was still, a guy that was being targeted. But gosh, he was tough to take down. And I don't know about if Trey is tough to take down necessarily, but he is a strong runner. And boy, does he show a burst at that position that he might not have had as a wide receiver. It was a Quinn yesterday that thought that Knox may end up leading Arkansas in receptions this year, which I guess I'd be surprised at. I still think it'll be Jaden Hazelwood. And I think this can be a game if things open up offensively. And we've talked a little bit about the deep passing game. I think you're talking a little bit more about Matt Landers and about Warren Thompson. And it's not that Hazelwood doesn't have the speed, but with him in the slot, I'm interested to see what he can do getting a pass over the middle and then take it from there. Like my man Gino, we know it as yards after catch. He never refers to it as yards after catch. It's just the yak, because Gino likes saying stuff like that. But with a guy like Hazelwood, it seems to me there could be a lot of yak there for him. Same with Trey Knox coming over the middle too. These are two guys that, they scored you 3 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns from KJ last week, and I thought Knox would be targeted inside the 20 a little bit more. But I'd love to see him go down that right sideline. There might be other tight ends in this league that are bigger and faster and stronger. I'm thinking Bowers from Georgia and maybe 1 or 2 others. But he's as far as pass catching tight end, I think Trey's the total package. And I think Chuck brought up a good point the other day. Somebody called in earlier and said they thought that Trey might have missed a block on a pass play, on pass protection. But that's also going to happen, and he made more blocks than he missed. So, it's still a position that he's learning, and you got to be a willing blocker and have the size to do it. I think he'd be just fine as a blocker, but I think he's a real weapon when it comes to pass catching and running, and it's something that was lacking at times for Arkansas the past 2-3 years, but it's not going to lack now. And if there's an on-field relationship that a wide receiver and a quarterback work together. Certainly we've seen quarterbacks make their living on a relationship with a tight end too. Maybe that's the top, on-field relationship offensively for Arkansas. Certainly it was against Cincinnati. And if you're looking at the guys that return, Knox is basically your leading returning receiver. I would look for him to have another big game coming up against Carolina. I think there'll be a number of big games. Maybe not 2 touchdowns every weekend, but they're going to be trying to defend him a little tougher than Cincinnati did, I think.
Yeah, I think they are, because now that you've shown that you have the ability to catch the ball, and catch the ball for touchdowns is a great way to get your name out there. You get this award for week 1, and Charlie said it earlier today, and I agree with him. I would like to kind of see that deep ball, see who's got that throw it up, run underneath the type of speed, who's going to be able to really take the top off of the defense. And we just didn't get to see that in Cincinnati. Now, I haven't broken down any type of game film or anything and really studied and watched the type of coverages that Cincinnati, put out there to kind of keep that at bay. But it would be nice to kind of see that deep threat is still there. And who's it going to be? Is it Matt Landers? Is it Warren Thompson? Is it Jaden Hazelwood, from the slot position? I think that in the Cincinnati games with the running game, a lot of things were answered that you don't truly, that Rocket can be, like you said, that 1A, but there still are those question marks. Who is that 1A in the passing game? We don't know yet. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with it being a guy like Trey Knox. I think you can be very successful in football running a lot of your pass plays through the tight end. But you would like to have that main weapon, I think, still on the outside. And who that's going to be, I guess we'll hopefully find out here in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, we can't make too much of week one on both sides here. You know, who's going to be your top receiver, and that also counts the tight ends. So I still think it's going to be a receiver in the end of it, and I still think it'll be Hazelwood. Although, yeah, I think we all want to see Landers, you know, get an opportunity on a deep ball. It feels like that's why he was brought here with this speed and that height. So I'd be surprised if you go 2 weeks without you know, testing him deep a couple of times, not just once or twice, maybe 3 or 4. I think that's why he was brought here. We got great weather for tomorrow's game. Really fantastic weather. There's no chance of rain. Winds will be light. Kicking game is one thing that South Carolina is really good at. I'm not going to say they've got an edge in the kicking game because Cam Little is really good, but they've got a kicker, Mitch Jeter, who just kicked a couple of extra points last year and never attempted a field goal until last week against Georgia State, and he nailed field goals of 53 and 51 yards.
That's pretty good.
So Carolina's scoring line is pretty much like close to the 45-yard line, or, you know, about the 40-yard line, give or take a couple. So that's one area where Cincinnati was way down as far as the kicking game is concerned. I don't think Carolina's going to have that kind of problem, and the winds aren't going to be blowing hard enough to make it tougher to kick. But game time temperature looks like it'll be in the low 80s. Have sunny skies, and it's going to be a great day to be out there for football. And apparently all that Ross and Paris is worried about is that everybody wears deodorant at the football stadium. And Ross, nice. it can't just be deodorant. It's got to be the antiperspirant too. Those two things together, I think, certainly can help out. Calvert asks, is Henry still on the team at tight end? Yes, he is. He is still on the team, but we didn't see him very much, if at all, against Cincinnati. And, I mean, he's been surpassed as far as the depth chart's concerned by both Trey Knox and Nathan Bax. You've got 3 big-time tight ends that are committed to the program for 2023. So the writing is right there on the wall for Hudson Henry, and I'm just not sure if the chance is there for him to step into an important role, unless there's an injury, and we're not going to root for that to happen to any of these players in front of him right now, or ever, for that matter. 877-377-6963. We'll have our weekend picks next on Halftime.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire.
The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at tulsawoundcenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
5-3.
Hey, Surrey!
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, it is week 2 of the college football season. We didn't count week 0. What happened in week 1, Drew? Who's in first? Who's in second? All I know is that Matty, who is off today, the magic coin has already made its choices for this weekend's picks. He didn't even know what games the coin was picking. So we're going to see exactly how magical the 50-50 coin of picking games is once we get deep into this.
Yeah, he truly did leave it up to fate, giving us. I think he gave those to us on Wednesday. Like I said, I didn't even put the games on there or any lines until today, or really what team would represent heads and tails. I normally always do the away team. Let's see, away team first, so that one would be heads. But he didn't know. I could have mixed it up this week. I didn't, but I could have. So he did truly leave it up to fate, didn't he?
All right. Well, I guess he did. But that's all that the magic coin is about. I mean, I feel like we ought to have him do his picks every Thursday anyway before you even choose the games. I want to see if this coin is really that magical. But what do you got for us?
Well, it's time for our Friday football forecast. And I forgot to do it last week. I forgot to do last week's weekly sponsor. So we've got an old but a good sponsor this time. This Friday football forecast is brought to you by Phil's Edible Shoes. Have you ever put your foot in your mouth by saying something like,
those were good.
If that happens, I'll eat a shoe, and then have to eat a real one? Well, don't worry. Phil's Edible Shoes are right there for you, good on your feet and good in your tummy. So next time you So next time you put your foot in your mouth, try Phil's Edible Shoes. Now in birthday cake and Twisto mango flavor.
Well, you'll love the flavor. They taste just like buttercream frosting. And if anybody likes that, well, you're going to like these edible shoes.
All right, game 1, Alabama on the big noon kickoff against Texas. That game will be at 11 here Central Time on Fox. Alabama's minus 20.5-point favorites. Phil, who you got?
I just don't know anybody that will pick Texas in this. Alabama's going to have this out of hand, I think, pretty early. And You want to do an over-under a number of times there's a horns down? I don't know. We still have to find out if that's really a thing in a non-conference game. Because Nick Saban was unaware of this rule that the Big 12 is instituted, and we're not exactly sure, since it'll be SEC officials in the stadium, as to whether or not that'll be called. Give me Alabama.
I'm right there with you. We got a show sweep because the coin, it knew that Alabama would be listed as heads as Maddie is taking the Crimson Tide. Now back to Phil's hometown as they got a big one. Top 25 matchup this week. Number 24, Tennessee. They're actually 6.5-point favorites on the road at Pittsburgh. Maddie, he's taking the 98ers. Phil, you going with your hometown team?
You know, Pitt just covered last week against West Virginia at Acrisure Stadium. They beat Tennessee last year in Knoxville. And I'm here to tell you, I think Pitt's going to win this game. I don't think they're just going to cover. Give me the Panthers at home as a dog.
I'm with you. I think that this is going to be a really close game. I don't see Tennessee winning by a touchdown. I think it really is a coin toss of who's going to win. How much did we really learn from Tennessee and Hendon Hooker last week against a pretty big cupcake in Ball State, which I think they won like 54-3 or something like that. Don't really know what we're getting out of Tennessee. I know what I'm getting out of Pittsburgh. I got to watch them against a good West Virginia team last week. Give me the Panthers. I think they win, but at least I'm going to take 6.5 points. All right, going down back to Texas as number 25, Houston Cougars. They take on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Maddie, he's taking the Raiders in this one. This, Phil, if we did it, would be my lock of the week. 100%. Houston, plus 4.5 points. I don't know if Houston wins, but it's going to be decided by a field goal. Give me the Cougs, man.
The Cougars got a tough road win at UTSA last week. It's weird to say that, right?
Yeah.
But Traylor's got his team. That's actually a pretty good football team there in San Antonio. And they beat them by 2. Houston won that game by 2. Tech's down their quarterback. He's out for at least a couple of weeks and maybe more with a shoulder injury. So I'm going to take the Cougars, too, to at least cover 4.5 on the road.
All right, now out west in sunny California, the Stanford Cardinals, they are hosting number 10, USC. The USC Trojans are 7.5-point favorites on the road. Maddie, he's going to take the trees of Stanford. Phil, I'm going to let you go because I still can't figure this one out. This feels like a trip-up game to me. This really does feel like a game that Lincoln Riley, after beating Rice, not really looking all that impressive against Rice, could stumble, and the Pac-12 100% be out of the CFP.
Well, it feels like they're already out of the CFP, but you're right. I mean, there'd be one team that might be able to crash that party, and it's Southern Cal. But, you know, a lot of people aren't even quite sure what the hype is about Southern California this year, and I'm not sure if I'm buying into it either. And this would be a week that the hype begins to die. So I'll take Stanford to at least cover. I don't know if they'll win. I think Stanford will cover it.
I'm going to join you right along with you. I know these haven't been very compelling picks as we picked every single game the exact same thus far through our first 4. But I feel like this is just with the Pac-12's luck and everything that's already happened. I'm going to say Stanford gets a win, but it's not like Stanford's going to be undefeated when it's all said and done. Now on to Utah as actually going to Provo, Utah, as number 25 BYU. They host the Baylor Bears, who are 9th in the country right now. BYU is minus 3.5. Maddie in the coin on Wednesday, they took the Cougars to BYU. I'm taking the Bears. I think Baylor was a great team last year. I think they're maybe not as good, but are pretty on par with where they were last year. I think this is a top 10, top 15 team. I'm going to say I think Baylor wins outright. They probably win by a full touchdown to me. Phil?
You know, just so we don't have the exact same picks with every game, because up until now we do. I just got to go in the opposite of you, and I'll take BYU.
All right. And now for our final pick of the week, the FCS game of the week. It's the Constitution State rivalry. Central Connecticut State University taking on Sacred Heart. The Blue Devils of Central Connecticut lead the series over the Pioneers of Sacred Heart, 13-10 all time. Both teams are 0-1 though, so something's got to give. I'm gonna take the Pioneers. Give me Sacred Heart. Maddie's gonna take the Blue Devils.
I can't go against one of the home teams here. Central Connecticut State was adopted by Arkansas baseball fans. What year was that? Was that 2019? I think that was 2019 that Central Connecticut State came to the Fayetteville Regional and was adopted by the Arkansas fan base, because they always adopt one team a year when the Fayetteville Regional is hosted, and CCSU is one of them. So I can't go against the home team.
All right.
Go Devils.
All right, there are your Friday football forecast picks of Week 2.
They're all brought to you by the tastiest shoe that was ever baked in an oven. Thank you very much, Harps, for doing that for us. All right, we got calls, we got texts, and we got one more segment to wrap things up for the week on halftime. So if you got a call or a text, it's 877-377-6963. Pete says, Drew, your bet of the year is in, and he wants the Cougars. All about the Cougars. All right, Aaron in Clarksville wondered about, you talked about the hot dogs. You want to wait for a hot dog, or you want to go back to the Chad Morris era where they would almost, you never had a line to wait in the Chad Morris era for anything, except the line to fire the head coach. Aaron from Wynn said he's been going to games a long time, and last week took him the longest ever to get inside before kickoff. And didn't believe it was all metal detectors. And I think that's about right. Well, he says it's all caused by not enough metal detectors per gate, and the scanners didn't work. Well, I have a feeling they've taken care of all of that. So I think things will be a little bit easier to get in. It'll be a beautiful day. Razorbacks are going to beat South Carolina. Be a copacetic Saturday. And we wrap things up next.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Razorback football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Looking for a way to feed a crowd? Think Golden Corral. Banquets, weddings, birthdays, or any sort of gathering. Golden Corral can handle all of your catering needs, from plate and serve to buffet style as well. They also offer a selection of menus and packages customized to meet the needs of the client. For your next catering event, visit their website at grocatering.com or call Mariah at 522-7958. Relax. Golden Corral has you covered.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Locally owned Lumber One
One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, where's the rest of the beer?
I'm probably out unless you clowns brought some.
Well, I've already had 3. Who's going to get more?
Order it from your phone.
From where?
Sody's delivers.
You mean where my girlfriend gets her wine and those cheese plates?
And if you don't want to drive, that's where you can order it. My free beer is gone.
Sody's now delivers inside Fort Smith city limits. Just order from mysodys.com or download the Sody's app and order from your phone. Sody's Wine and Spirits. Experience different.
Are you an experienced concrete finisher? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forsgren is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. GoForsgren.com. Apply now at GoForsgren.com. Are you an experienced dump truck driver? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forsgren is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. GoForsgren.com. Apply now at GoForsgren.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's a big job just getting by with 9 kids and a wife. But I've been working, man, dang near all my life, and I'll keep on working. Long as my 2 hands are fit to use. I'll drink my beer in a tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues.
Arkansas. 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley. 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas. 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home. And everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Okay, it's push or shove time for us, Drew. We're going to make our pick on Arkansas versus South Carolina. I didn't see anybody that's picked Arkansas to lose on our text line yet. JT says everything's going to go good for the Hogs tomorrow. Who was it last week? Dustin. Was it Dustin in Mansfield?
It was.
Yeah, he predicted an Arkansas loss.
And
on Monday, on Monday he took the bird out of the oven and had a big old mouthful of crow, and I think he was happy for that too. Anybody out there want to predict an Arkansas loss? 877-377-6963. I'm not going to be the one to do it. I see a loss or two on the schedule, but this isn't it. This isn't it. Arkansas is going to dominate the line of scrimmage against the Gamecocks tomorrow, and that's on both sides of the ball. South Carolina can be run on. Georgia State ran for over 200 against them. Arkansas is going to run for 250 to 275, something like that. I think Rocket Sanders will get the bulk of the carries. I don't think he'll get 20 again, but you could see him pushing 100 perhaps. 38 points for Arkansas, and I think even that might be a little bit conservative, but I'm going to keep it at 38. I think Jaden Hazelwood will have a couple of touchdowns. And I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy one. I think Spencer Rattler's going to make a few plays. It just seems to be the kind of quarterback that he is. But it isn't going to be enough plays. And I think Arkansas will record a couple of turnovers. They might even get a defensive score. I see this defense scoring a couple, 3 touchdowns maybe this year, maybe one of them tomorrow. And because of dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides, I think the Razorbacks will win this game 38-28. And I think Carolina is going to make some plays, and they've got special teams on their side, perhaps. I think Arkansas will be ready for any fakes that they throw at them, and as long as you're able to block at the line on punts, things should go just well. I mean, I think, Carolina's kicker, he can kick the 50-yarder. He did it twice last weekend, so if they get the ball to the 40, he might have the leg to score from there. So 38-28 would be my pick for Arkansas. Drew, what do you have?
I'm going to go a little bit south of that. I'm going to say 35-24. 4. I think Arkansas controls the game for the most part. I think it's going to be about a 14-point ball game for most of the game. I think South Carolina gets a few extra field goals, just like you said, because of the tremendous kicker that they do have. That's why I've got it at about a little less than a full 14 points. I think that's 11. But I think that there's not going to be a second in the game really outside of the first quarter where you're scared or you're really that nervous. I think Arkansas is going to control the game mostly. I think Dominic Johnson does play tomorrow. I think he's probably going to have south of 10 carries, but they're going to be productive ones. I think he's going to get about 6-7 carries. He's going to be about around the 40, 45-yard mark. Rocket's going to have some obviously, I think Rocket's going to be somewhere around the 75-yard mark, and then KJ's going to come in with another 40 or so and whatever you can get out of Dominion, and A.J. Green will just be icing on top of the cake. And on the outside, I think we see another big week from Trey Knox. I really do. I don't see him slowing down at this point. I know you can't really overreact from game 1, but I'm going to say we get another 2-touchdown game out of Trey Knox.
All right. I think the defensive ends, and they do bring a linebacker up to the line of scrimmage quite often for Carolina. I think that's a strength for them. The middle of that defensive line, linebackers, not necessarily a strength. That's why I think Arkansas will be able to run, and I think that's the direction you're going with as well, Drew. So Aaron says 45-29 Hogs. Pete says 38-35. I don't think they're going to cover the 8.5, but I guess a win is a win. It doesn't matter what the score is, right? And JT is saying Carolina scored only 21 on their own last week. I think they'll get past that against Arkansas. I really do. All right, and we'll be with you. So tomorrow is an 8 o'clock broadcast for the pregame on the Learfield Network. 6 o'clock Arkansas game day, and then they'll have Arkansas reaction once we're finished with the Learfield pregame. Eastside Liquor podcast coming out sometime in the 2 o'clock hour. Drew's on top of that today. And Ruskin and Zach have you from 2 until 7, just like usual, here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. And then next week, oh boy, next week is going to be silly. With Bobby Petrino coming back, with Missouri State, it is going to be a soap opera all over again. We get to relive some really, really fun stuff, don't we?
Oh, that we do. I think I'm going to
go to that
General
Hospital, All My Children, and Days of Our Lives thrown together with Jersey Shore. It's going to be nuts. So have yourself a great weekend and enjoy the rest of your Friday. For Drew, I'm Phil. We appreciate you tuning in on Halftime. Now get up, get out, and get better.
Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. Oh, Thursday doesn't